Talk shoes.
Recorded live.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Müvment Boxing Podcast, where we bring you the latest and greatest in boxing news, unbiased, unfiltered, raw, and uncut. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it straight from the underground, away from the mainstream bias. Today, I'm joined by our normal co-host, 2K, coming back to the show this week. The prodigy of boxing talk. What's good with you, man?
What's good, y'all?
We got Bo joining us from the Truth and Facts About Boxing Talk. What's good, man?
What's up, fam? We got the three best on right now.
Yes, sir. Always interesting shows with us. You know, we definitely holding it down for the two cohorts that can be here with us today. Bernard from the Truth and Facts About Boxing, co-host with Bo on this show, does the skits for the movement and for Bo as well, for some of the stuff you see on his YouTube channel. I'm also holding it down for Big Cool from Colossal Boxing Talk. He should be on a little bit later, possibly, but we going to hold our fellas down. With that said, y'all ready to get it going?
We're up.
Hey, man, let's get it popping, man.
For sure. All right, we're going to get it started with, I guess, this news that came from Top Rank this week about the rematch with Manny Pacquiao and Jeff Horn. Womp womp. It's off until 2018, looking like Manny Pacquiao has some senatorial duties as usual. I mean, that seems to be the theme with him these days. With a lot of his fights, that usually comes into the picture. But it's looking like he wants that rematch in 2018, and in the interim, there will be a match for Jeff Horn, looking like in the early November. One of the names that's being thrown out prominently right now, not surprisingly, is Jesse Vargas, former WBO champ, I believe, at 147.
For who? Jeff Horn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that shit.
Yeah, that's one of the names being thrown out there, and for obvious reasons, we know Top Rank's business model, how that normally works. With that said, let me get you guys' thoughts on pretty much Pacquiao and the possible match between Vargas and Horn. I'm going to start off with Bo on this one.
Yeah, the funny thing about it was when Jeff Horn said something about fighting Errol Spence, everybody was like, oh, man, Jeff Horn, look at Jeff Horn, the G. Oh, man, see, everybody else ain't mentioning Spence's name. Jeff Horn mentioning Spence's name. And what I told motherfuckers, I said, yo, man, that's easy to say when he has a rematch clause with Pacquiao. Talk to me when this motherfucker ain't got no opponents. And what's up? Is he mentioning Spence right now? Nope. He ain't mentioning Spence right now. Is he mentioning Thurman? Nope. He ain't mentioning Thurman. And Bob Barams have let it be known that, well, I'm not going to match Jeff Horn against Crawford right now. So the logical explanation, since Timothy fucking don't know shit, cunt, punk ass, sadly, has retired, well, the logical choice is Jesse Vargas. And for all of y'all, and this is why I say, stop challenging the movement. Check history, okay? Because I said this once. When you want to question me about motherfuckers' resume, we are consistent in one thing, and that is what we get angry about. How the fuck does Jesse Vargas gets another title shot coming off another goddamn loss? He lost to Bradley, and he got a chance to fight for a vacant title he lost to. Then he loses to Pacquiao. Now he fights for another vacant title. So when you want to bitch at me about Al Heyman and shit he doing, what the fuck is this shit right here? Because I actually thought Jesse Vargas left Top Rank. Oh, no, my bad. Bob is going to get you a title shot. Oh, my bad, Bob. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that shit. I'm going to come back. Thank you, Uncle Bob. Fuck out of here with this shit. Okay? It's a recycled fight. This is the kind of thing that got them in trouble over at HBO. Now, granted, it might be a fight that he had to make because of availability and no choice because, again, I understand it. You're not going to lose your only bargaining chip at the table to an Earl Spence or Keith Thurman, knowing that you might not get that shot back again. So I totally understand that from a fan from a business aspect. But don't try to pass this off to me as if this was the best choice you could have made. No, it was not. But we understand it. And if Manny Pacquiao really is going to come back, and if you really want Terrence Crawford to fight for that belt, then you got to keep it within Top Rank. So if Jesse Vargas wins, then you can pit Jesse Vargas against Crawford or Jesse Vargas against Manny Pacquiao. So it's another top-ranked recycle fight. Am I mad about it? Not really, because it is at least somewhat of a competitive fight because Vargas, the way he fights, you can see him winning. But, my whole thing is I'm just tired of motherfuckers being fake mad. Like you mad at one thing, but then you ain't mad at the other. There's no way in my mind Jesse Vargas should be fighting for another title coming off a loss against Manny Pacquiao. There's other motherfuckers that should be getting that opportunity. And since Jeff Horn mentioned Errol Spence, what's up, man? I thought you wanted that work. Obviously, you didn't. So the Jeff Horn, go ahead.
Here's the thing. You got to look at the WBO rankings. First of all, I did a video on this shit like right before the Jeff Horn Manny Pacquiao clown ass fight a month or two ago, whenever the fuck that was, and I went down the top 15 WBO ranked fighters. None of them include the top 5 welterweights right now. You know what I'm saying? Jesse Vargas ain't even ranked in the top 5. He's ranked right now. Yeah. Exactly, ranked number 9, which is kind of funny to me. It has nothing to do with the WBO rankings in this instance. It has to do with top rank. What Bo just mentioned, it's another, in-house type of fight. That's why Jesse Vargas is getting that shot. A lot of kids don't understand that Jeff Horn's not necessarily promoted by Top Rank. He's promoted by an Australian promoter and co-promoted by Top Rank, meaning Top Rank will handle his next few fights, and they will promote his fights as the bigger promoter so he can get more, or so the fight can actually generate more revenue, since he has a smaller local promoter out in Australia. But he's not a top-ranked fighter. Thus, all the fights coming up, if it's not Manny Pacquiao, it's going to be another fighter within the top-ranked stable that he's going to put him against. That's why you're hearing about Jesse Vargas. If things are the way they should be, Lucas Matisse should have that shot since he's ranked number 2, or your boy Bradley Skeet, he should have that shot. But they ain't going to give it to the Skeet, man, because he's under Frank Warren, you know what I'm saying, out in the UK. He's the guy that's been calling out Jeff Horn the last couple of fucking days, from my understanding. Actually, the last couple of months, you know what I'm saying, after his last fight. So he should probably get that shot, if not Lucas Matisse, sitting at number 3. But this is obvious that Bob Arum is trying to make the most money out of Jeff Horn while he co-promotes his next 2 fights. And then he's just going to get the title to another in-house fighter. And that's why you see him, trying to put him up against Jesse Vargas. We all know if Jesse Vargas fights Jeff Horn, you know who the winner's going to be. It's not going to be Jeff Horn. And I don't even think highly of fucking Jesse Vargas. You know what I'm saying? So if there's going to be a rematch between Jeff Horn and Manny Pacquiao, you know who the winner's going to be. It's not going to be Jeff Horn. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. This is all about Bob Arum basically trying to find a top-ranked fighter to get in the ring with Jeff Horn, make the last bit of money with the next fights, couple of fights that he's going to promote for this guy, or at least co-promote for this guy, and then, take the belt up off him and send him on his merry way. That's exactly what's about to happen.
Yeah, I agree with that. My only issue, though, is the motherfuckers was talking like Jeff Horn was a G because he mentioned Errol Spence, and it's like, how come he ain't mention the motherfucking 9? That's my biggest gripe is stop doing dumb shit like that just because, don't be like that because the motherfucker's calling his name. Like, if you want to tell me Wilder shouldn't be talking motherfucker's name because he got opponents, and do the same thing for Jeff Horn, man.
Mm-hmm. Definitely agreed. With that said, what do you guys think needs to happen with Pacquiao? I mean, we've kind of gone over this a little bit. Yeah, I mean, if you got to wait till 2018, you're holding up 147, like, get the fuck on, man. Honestly. We don't want to see a possible rematch between you and Jesse Vargas for that WBA title to start off 2018. That would just be a bad look, in my opinion.
If Jeff Horn loses that belt, Manny Pacquiao will retire because Freddie Roach has said that he don't want Manny Pacquiao fighting Crawford or nobody else. He just wants him fighting Jeff Horn. So Jeff Horn loses that belt, retire. But I personally think he should retire anyway, man. You got one foot in, one foot out. That's not good for the sport.
Yeah, definitely agreed. As far as Jeff Horn, I'm not sure how many contract options Top Rank has on him. I believe it was 3 after the Pacquiao fight. So, I mean, I think they will try to milk this status, especially over there in Australia. Doing the fight with Jesse Vargas there actually makes sense for Horn and for Top Rank, considering he'll do those numbers there compared to what Vargas can do here, which is pretty minimal. He's doesn't have necessarily a big following anywhere. So, I mean, it's a smart fight, good move, definitely a competitive fight, so I'm not mad at that at all. But, we know what Top Rank is and how they do their thing, and that's the only thing I'm upset about. I mean, because last that I checked, Errol Spence still doesn't have a fight. He's looking for an opponent, so it's definitely...
Lamont Peterson.
Nah, that's not...
No, it's rumors. It's rumors that it might be Lamont. That's what I heard. I don't know.
And Luis Collazo, but I'm leaning towards Collazo. It's not going to be Peterson, that's for sure, because he's already mandatory to fight Thurman. I don't think he'd risk that to fight Spence right now, personally, especially when he didn't do it when he was up for the IBF title eliminator. So, just my take on it. I don't know what you guys think. That said, I guess. Hello.
Go ahead. Keep going. I was just gonna say that it probably won't be Lamont. It doesn't make business sense to throw him in there, throw Lamont in there to get slaughtered. You know what I'm saying? It'll probably be Louis Collazo, a guy that keeps popping up, and once you think he's gone, he wins a meaningful fight, ends up back in the fray. So it'll probably be him, and it'll be another fight where he's gone again. You know what I'm saying? Maybe next year he's gonna be somebody.
Might retire. Spence might retire.
This time possibly for good though. Spence ain't the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Leonard Bandu been MIA since. Goddamn.
Yeah, that's
true. Over a year later.
That's true.
I guess you kind of talked about this a little bit, or we loomed in that it was possibly happening, and, it's been some back and forth pull because of the stuff going on with Anthony Joshua right now. But it's looking like there is a date being finalized for November for Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz. I don't know how much Bo's actually probably might be able to clue us in more on if this is legit or not. This is just something that was put out today that the date would be in November. Bo's in contact with a lot of the cats down there in Miami, as far as his homeland people in Cuba. So I guess I'll let him touch on this one first. As far as this Deontay Wilder Luis Ortiz, is it really going down, or is it just? Is there still a lot of stuff going on as far as Ortiz trying to get that Joshua fight since Pulev is backed out now? What's going on there?
It ain't so much as him trying to get the Joshua fight, it's them trying to see if the WBA is going to enforce that rule and strip that belt from him. That way they could be fighting for two titles, kind of like Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko got a chance to do. So he holding two aces, which is he definitely know he has that Wilder fight. They want that fight. So they got that fight, and that date is already locked in. So if September 6th comes and the WBA don't strip Joshua and Joshua goes where we're fighting Pulev, then they're going to fight Wilder. They've already made that clear. They're just waiting to see what the WBA is going to do. If they strip him, then they can try to pull that belt into a fight with Wilder. Either way it goes, he wants to fight. Now, if they can get the Joshua fight, of course they would like that because it's more money. But they're just waiting to see what the WBA is going to do. If the WBA don't strip him, then they'll fight Wilder. If they strip him, then there'll be a unification match. Or if Joshua is claiming to fight him, then he'll fight Joshua for two titles. So he's just playing his cards right now because finally he's in a good position with the funky-ass BA. So we'll see how that goes. But he definitely wants to fight. He actually would rather fight Joshua because of from a notoriety and money perspective. But in my opinion, Wilder needs this fight with Luis Ortiz a lot more than Joshua does.
Okay, they're very true. Also been hearing some things are one of our close friends here, Chris Henderson from Four Corners of Boxing Talk. He's been saying that it's most likely the WBA is not going to strip Joshua. I kind of agree with it just because, it's all about money at the end of the day. You know what they feed off, these organizations. Let me get 2K's thoughts on this. The date being locked in is looking like for early November. Man, it's already been a great year of boxing. What does this fight do for it, man?
Adds on to it's another great fight that we've had for this year. I mean, that date's been locked in for a while now, since before Bermain Severino stepped down. So the last, piece to the puzzle was just trying to get Bermain's bitch ass to understand that he really shouldn't be the number one contender fighting a nigga named Derek Rossi, the only fight he's had since losing to Deontay Wilder 2 years ago. So, and props to Al Heyman, he was able to get that shit done. And I mean, it's just it's gonna be the it's gonna be the end. You know what I'm saying? The end of that WBC reign for Deontay, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell y'all niggas right now, if this fight happens, Luis Ortiz is gonna whoop this nigga's ass, man. I like Deontay, but Luis Ortiz is way too skilled for a guy like Deontay Wilder. Now, of course, power is a great equalizer, but if you got a guy that has the IQ to be able to get away from that power, to basically use his opponent's strengths against him, which Ortiz does have that kind of an IQ, it's going to be a tough night for Deontay Wilder, man. But I actually, I'm surprised. Well, let me say not surprised. How do I say? The WBA, they were adamant, you know what I'm saying, when Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko fight was announced. They were adamant, okay, the winner has to face Luis Ortiz or else. That's what they said, right? But it seems that this big thing with Luis Ortiz trying to get a fight with Deontay Wilder, the WBA seems to be feeding off that as if they are happy that Luis Ortiz is looking in a different direction and they don't have to force a guy with Anthony Joshua's prestige who's holding their belt to possibly lose that motherfucker to Luis Ortiz. You see what I'm saying? Like both said, it's all about, or actually both of y'all said it's all about money, right? And these organizations feed off of that, feed off the popularity of, the type of the fighter that has their belt.
Yeah.
Well, it looks to me that they just seem, I'm not done with that. They just seem to be a little, less enthusiastic about making Anthony Joshua uphold to their policy or to their requirements that they said prior to the Vladimir Klitschko fight. You see what I'm saying? They're like, well, Luis Ortiz is over there trying to get a Deontay Wilder fight. Let's just back off a little bit and see what happens there. If the fight doesn't happen, then maybe we'll try to make it, mandatory that he fights him. But, hey, let's be quiet for now. Let's make it Deontay Wilder's problem. That's how I see the WBA is looking at this shit, man. It's fucking crazy, and I agree with Bo. Wilder needs this fight more than Anthony Joshua does. But I want Luis Ortiz to fight Anthony Joshua just because we need the WBA to uphold what the fuck they're making their mandatory be prior to the fight. They said, hey, you have to fight Luis Ortiz. If you win this fight, he wins. He needs to fight Luis Ortiz. I'm glad Kubrat Pulev said he didn't want to fight Anthony Joshua. I did not want to see that bullshit-ass fight. Next up is motherfucking Luis Ortiz. Make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it really shouldn't be that difficult. The IBF goes through their process of doing a whole nother eliminator. If that's the case, I mean, there ain't no next man up with the IBF. So pretty much, the WBA is in position to step up and do the right thing. I mean, they've been trying to look for the belt out the whole time. And, I'm glad that, just like 2K said, that shit will pull up happen because it forced their hand. And, I mean, I hope Luis Ortiz does fucking sue their ass if they don't oppose to that shit. This is getting ridiculous now.
Also, let's not take Eddie Hearn's out of the equation because Eddie Hearn's is running around saying shit like, "Oh, we love to fight the winner of Wilder Ortiz." See, yet again, and motherfuckers love talking shit, but yet again, here's Eddie Hearns pushing somebody off on Deontay Wilder instead of putting your man on his ass.
So, exactly.
And that's my issue when people talk to me. So I agree with you, man. The WBA, I'm not surprised by their stance at all. I don't think none of us really is because, like we said, it's about money. And they know with that strap around Joshua waist, man, they can make some money. It's the reason why they even had a vacant belt in a unification match. And, the WBO was like, no, we need our number one to fight the number two. So,
yeah.
All right, so y'all know I'm a Wilder fan, so I got to be subjective here. So I'm going to lead this one to y'all, and I want you guys to answer this one. why is Deontay Wilder taking this fight now? I mean, is it? I mean, I want to get you guys to say, is it one of those timing things that we hear about in like other fights, such as I guess maybe a Floyd? You know how they use that against Floyd and Pacquiao. You know, he's slowing down, or you know they say the same thing about Canelo. Triple G's waited till he's slowing down in 35 and shit like that. So I just want to get you guys' take on as far as why now for Wilder personally. Just you guys' opinions.
I think now is a good time. And in respect to giving Wilder respect if he beats Luis Ortiz. Yeah, Luis Ortiz is probably 47 years old, but the nigga still fights at a high level. You know what I'm saying? So it's not as if Luis Ortiz is winding down. I mean, his last couple of fights, his opponents were trash, and they really didn't want to get it. They really didn't want to mix it up with him. It wasn't his fault that they, you know, those performances looked the way they did. So with him not losing a step, not breaking down skill-wise, I think it's an excellent time to fight him, and it's an excellent time to gain respect for the win. Deontay Wilder's just looking down the list. Shit, Romain Stavern is his mandatory. Luis Ortiz is a better fight. He tried to get the better fight because other motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, that got chickens for head, such as Joseph Parker, you know what I'm saying, they just completely ducked shit out this nigga, didn't want to do a unification, talked a lot of shit like he really did, showed up to his fights and everything. Then when it was time to get that contract signed, motherfucker straight ducked out. So now he's like, well, damn, I need a big fight. And that's what he's doing. He's trying to get a big fight. Anthony Joshua don't want it right now anyway. Who else is there? There's nobody else. Shannon Briggs? I mean, come on, man. There's nobody else. So he's just trying to get the big fight. Luis Ortiz is considered by a wide range of boxing enthusiasts as the most highly skilled heavyweight out there. You know what I'm saying? It's an excellent time for him to look for the fight, and I give him 100% credit for looking for the fight. So I mean, he's just going down the list. You know, number 2 contender's a better fighter than the number 1. Yeah, I'll fight my mandatory if y'all make me, but if I can pay him step aside money to get the better fight, then let's do that. That's what he did. So, this is perfect, man. Like I said, if he beats Luis Ortiz, he gets 100% credit.
All right, Bo, you got anything you want to add on to that as far as your thoughts on it?
Yeah, everything. I agree with everything 2K except the fact that Luis Ortiz's listed age that he is 37 years old, 38. So, listed. That is the man's age, and that can be proven. But yeah, I agree with everything 2K said. Listen, Deontay Wilder has been hearing the people kind of dogging on him. I think the thing that really inspired him is when he went to Wembley to watch that fight with Anthony Joshua and Vlad. And he's like, listen, man, I want some of that. How do I get it? And they're like, listen, if you want it, this is what you have to do. Like, you have to fight Luis Ortiz because, and I'm not trying to shit on no one. I give Joshua credit for beating Vlad, but the reality was Vlad had already suffered, was coming off of a loss and a 2-year layoff to Tyson Fury, where Luis Ortiz is undefeated. He's a guy nobody wants to fight. And like you said, he can upset the apple cart. Whether he fight Wilder or Joshua, you can see him upsetting, the potential mega fight. So props to him for looking for the fight. He heard us when people was like, no, we don't want to see that Stavern fight. He said, all right, cool, I'm not going to fight Stavern. And, I give any guy a prop. When we ask you to step your game up, Erislandy motherfucking Lara, when we ask you to step your game up and do something, and you do it, man, you get props. So props to him for doing that, man. I'm not gonna predict who's gonna win. I can't. I have cultural conflict on this right here.
Cultural bias.
Conflict, motherfucker. Conflict.
I mean, I was looking at an article earlier, and Chris Ariola actually thought the fight between Wilder and he thinks Wilder would beat AJ right now, which is I haven't heard too many people go out on the limb and say that. I don't necessarily think Joshua is that great, personally. He seems like it's one way or the other, one way or one. I mean, there's one strategy pretty much for him to win. Like, I don't think he outboxes too many people. That's just me. So, I mean, big up to Deontay.
Yeah, you know, that's the funny thing is, man, if Deontay, we know Deontay has boxing skills, but because of his right hand, man, he throws that shit out the window. That's the thing that really frustrates you about that guy.
I mean, letting Ortiz get in close to him is not going to bode well. I mean, we saw what happened to Brian Jennings. You know, he tried to be aggressive against Luis Ortiz and, got knocked the fuck out. You know, so definitely not a good strategy. And Deontay has had a habit of leaning against the ropes and lately in a lot of his fights. You know, especially against these the Eastern Euro guys he's been fighting. You know, he's letting them get on the inside and do all that. Not gonna bode well against a smart fighter like Luis Ortiz. So definitely looking forward to it, man. We'll go ahead and get into our next topic from there, man. We had two fighters and that making moves up respectively this week. Leo Santa Cruz and Terence Crawford both ended at it. Leo Santa Cruz ended up going at 130 if he can't get any big fights, I guess meaning as far as unifications. And, of course, Terence Crawford put out the tweet today, 147, I want it all, you know what I'm saying? So I think that pretty much declared his intentions of what's next for him. I guess we'll start off with the more profile name, which is Terence Crawford. What do you guys think of his immediate move to 147, and as far as initial prospects and who he can fight, you know, especially in the aftermath of this shit with Pacquiao and Horn that just happened? I'll start off with Bo.
Well, listen, he tweeted 147 here. You know, I want it all, but he hasn't dropped none of those other belts. He hasn't dropped neither one of the other two belts that he holds. So, and I hate to say this, but we're gonna have to wait to see what Bob wants to do. But if he goes to 147, I could see him actually fighting Lucas Matisse, like 2K was saying. I could see him kind of playing, running interference on that WBO side, either to maintain Jeff Horn holding that belt so he could fight Pacquiao. But, I could see him fight Lucas Matisse or Brian.
I don't want to cut you off here, but the WBL does have this thing that we've seen it done with Terence Crawford before, that he would be able to drop his belt and move up and face whoever's holding that title immediately. That's what happened when he moved up to 140, actually. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but go ahead, Bo.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I don't know. You know, Bob has made it clear that he's not going to make that fight with Horn. And when I interviewed Red Spikes, and they said they go to 147 for a title. So Al Heyman is probably not going to match either one of his guys, Keith Thurman or Earl Spence. And this isn't the fighters against Bud Crawford, because he wants to make a super fight between Keith Thurman and Earl Spence. So it'd have to be, if he goes to 147, it has to be a move that makes business sense. And right now, if he ain't fighting for a title, fighting Jeff Horn, then I can only see him fighting the guys that 2K mentioned, which is Matisse, Skeet, Panamarev, and, kind of running interference until that time is right for him. So I don't know. I still think there's some fights at 147 he can make just to keep him a little busy. He can fight the great Emir Imam. He can fight. He can fight the always dangerous. He can Antonio Orozco, or he can fight Maurice Booker or Rance Bartholomew. Pretty much, y'all see where I'm going with this, right? I would like to see him fight Regis. I would like to see him fight Regis. I think that would be a pretty good fight. Yeah, I think that would be a good fight for him. But I don't know, man. This is kind of difficult, because going to 147 for him, like, who does he fight right now? So, and since Abrams had made it clear he ain't gonna face Horn, I don't know.
Stylistically, I think Adrian Granados is a good fight for him, too. I mean, he always brings a good fight to everybody. He's technically outmatched.
That nigga Twine be pushing the shit out that Adrian Granados man.
I like guys that fight hard, man. He brings it every fight.
You be saying his motherfucking name wrong, too, man. It's Granados.
Granados. Before I call him Migra. Because he can roll his goddamn R's.
Knock the fuck out. Probably round 7. I'm picking.
Yeah. There's definitely a fight. Definitely a fight that can happen. But I'm like, I want to get TK's thought on this, because this was actually something I was talking about with Rolando when we were at the Crawford fight a couple weeks ago against Ndongo. Rolando for talking, boxing, and bullshit. But pretty much he was like, what would be wrong with Terence Crawford going after one of those records like a Marvin Hagler, or staying in the division and getting a defense record or something like that, And, I was the first time I'd actually thought about it, and it made quite some fucking sense, man. Like, why? What would be wrong with him doing that and setting something like that right now?
Nothing to be wrong with him doing that. There's some good fighters at 140. You named your boy Granados. They got Regis Prograis. They've got Antonio Orozco. Mikey Garcia is at 140. He's talking about going back down to 135, but he wants to fight Terence Crawford at 140. Bo mentioned Barthélemy. There's some good fights at 140. There's nothing wrong with him.
Hey, don't forget the great Amir Imam.
Who is actually that nigga's mandatory.
From which sport? The WBO?
WBC.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's his fucking mandatory. So, but, there's some good fights there. There's, the thing is this. People are starting to understand what I've been saying about Terence Crawford since he beat Ricky Burns at 135. And it is that his skill level is top-notch. It's upper echelon. So if you look at the guys at 140, there really is no chance for any of them motherfuckers to beat Terence Crawford. Yeah, there's some good fights there, but in reality, Terence Crawford is going to beat him. The only guy that I think that will come close to beating Terence Crawford is Mikey Garcia, and he's in and out of, wanting to take that fight. He's in and out of, it's not necessarily taking that fight, but he's in and out of wanting to campaign at 140 pounds full time. So, other than Mikey, yes, the other guys I mentioned are good fights, but Terence is going to win those fights. Everybody knows this. Everybody thinks it, right? So going to 147, there's still an asterisk sitting on Crawford's name within the 147-pound ranking system, or at least the division, right? You've got a lot of power punchers sitting up there like Keith Thurman. You got Errol Spence, Danny Garcia's no-hook, left hook, be sleeping motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So, we're looking at a situation where it's this. Yes, we understand Terence Crawford's skill level is top-notch. It's upper echelon. He's probably one of two fighters in the sport that has mastered switch hitting, meaning he can beat you in the southpaw or the orthodox stance equally well, right? He's also one of the fighters on the short list of guys active in the sport today who are extremely smart, where their IQ is it's unscalable. It's above the charts, right? So, yes, we know that about Crawford, but this is still the hurt business. It only takes one punch. Can Crawford's chin hold up? He was stung against Yuriorkis Gamboa, right, at 135. Hank Lundy landed some nice shots on him. I don't think he stung him too much, but he landed some nice shots on him and kept him thinking, kept him kind of honest before he eventually knocked his ass out. Felix Diaz landed some nice shots on him, but that was a complete thrashing by Terence Crawford.
Diaz isn't necessarily a power puncher either, but he did land some wood on him.
Right. So the question is, outside of all the different skills that we know he has, the upper echelon skills, can his chin hold up when being struck by a puncher like Keith Thurman? Can his chin and his body hold up when being struck by a puncher like Errol Spence? You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing. That's the thing that people want to see, since they already know he's so good at 140. And I'm one of those people. I don't mind him staying at 140 and, defending. Well, he already dropped the IBF, but if he would have kept the IBF, defending the undisputed status, I would like that a lot. You know what I'm saying? But I think 147 defines his legacy much better than staying just at 140 and beating guys that we already know that he can beat. So it's going to be interesting, man. I think Bob Graham's going to hold off until the Horn-Pacquiao fight happens, because the winner of that fight is going to be in prime position to give up that belt to Terence Crawford, and then Terence Crawford will rule the roost at 147 with the WBO title. Probably get about 4 title defenses before they start talking about a unification bout, if that is Terence Crawford decides to just go along with the program. If he wants to deviate from the program like Canelo did Oscar De La Hoya's program when he wanted to fight Erislandy Lara, right? If he decides to deviate from that program and say, nah, fuck that. Yeah, I beat Jeff Horn, or I beat Manny Pacquiao, I'm the new WBO champion. I want one of the other dogs. I want Keith Thurman or Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? If he decides to do that, well, then that's when we'll get those unification bouts possibly. But if he goes with the program, I would say in about 2 years after making 147, will he fight somebody of a notable name.
All right, and, it's another thing that always looms in the back of our minds, as far as top rank, how difficult is it going to be for them to make those matches against, we've seen it already as far as Crawford going against Molina and Diaz, but when it comes to these guys at 147, I mean, is there going to be any hurdles? These guys are making a lot more money. The ESPN thing is kind of exclusive for Top Rank right now. We won't see them on HBO at all. Showtime pretty much has a leash on most of the, not exclusively, but, they get first dibs on a lot of their PBC fighters. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting, but, we've already know this is like probably the biggest fight maybe 2 years down the line. Crawford versus Spence. I mean, there definitely doesn't need to be any hurdles in making that shit. And Crawford should be well established at 147 by then, I think, especially if he's able to lift that WBO off of whoever's the dummy holder at the moment. By the time they get to him next year. That said, I guess we could go into Santa Cruz. I guess he's looking to stick around at featherweight, but he's making it seem like it's hard to get these guys in the ring, even though Mares is mandatory. So let me get you guys' take on his talk about moving to 130, and does he have any legitimate prospects at that weight class if he was to go? I'll let 2K start on it.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, going to 130 is better for him, man. Shit, Vasil Lomachenko, Tevin Farmer, Jezreel Corrales, Orlando Salido, Gervonta Davis, nigga. I mean, shit, I can keep going. Miguel Burchell, hell yeah. If he can make 130 and he's at 130 comfortably and he actually fights the motherfuckers he's supposed to fight, yeah, that's an excellent move. 130 is one of the more the better divisions of the sport. I think 130 has better talent than 126. So absolutely, he's already beaten Carl Frampton, who's known as a bitch today in my book. So I'm not really interested in seeing him fight Carl Frampton. He's supposed to be fighting Abner Mares. Abner Mares reinvigorated himself, with his win. I can't remember. What's the fucking guy's name? That he beat. Yeah, thank you. Jesus Cuellar. Yeah, reinvigorated himself with that win. You know what I'm saying? But Leo already beat him. The rematch should be good. We'll watch that. I expect him to win the rematch. And then after that, I mean, of course, Gary Russell's there, but we know he's not going to fight Gary Russell. Motherfuckers is starting to duck Gary Russell right now. So he's going to move up to 130, and it'll be a lot more challenging opponents up there, definitely. If he's not fighting Gary Russell, move to 130. Now,
the 130 thing I think is interesting just because 2 of the titles are held by Golden Boy fighters. I mean, politics really play a role in all this shit. I hate even bringing it to this shit, bringing up these things in every topic, but I mean, this is just what the hell boxing is these days, man. So you gotta kind of put it out there for the people, Bo, let me get your thoughts as far as do you think he could actually be competitive at the weight class, against the people, the champions that are there now, like Burchell, Corrales, Lomachenko? Let me get your take on that.
Yeah, of course. I agree with 2K. If he can't get these guys at 126, because, I mean, let's be real. No cat's been at 126 been trying to make a move. Gary Russell pretty much punked Lee Shelby to the point this motherfucker ain't even talking about nobody but motherfuckers who taking L's, which is Frampton. So he's trying to fight Frampton. Okay, Oscar Valdez would like to fight one of them, but, like we talk about that, like Top Rank and PBC make fights, but they don't make fights with their big guys. They'll make them lower tier fights. They don't necessarily make fights with their big guys. So, and then like 2K said, I don't think his father would let him in there with Rigo. I know damn well he ain't gonna let him in there with Gary Russell. Okay, so going to 130, yeah, you got right now the IBF belt is vacant. You know what I'm saying? So you can make a push for that. Then, like you said, you got Brian Vasquez. You got Jesus Cuellar is at 130. You got Javier Fortuna, Tevin Farmer. Okay, So there's some fights you could definitely make for this man at 130. I could see him beating I could see him outworking Burchell, outworking Corrales. Vasily Lomachenko, nah, bro. Your daddy didn't let you fight Rico. He ain't gonna let you fight Lomachenko. So
that's a good fight, though. That's a good fight, though. That's what pisses me off.
It's a Salido kind of pace that Vasily struggled against. And honestly, I think Santa Cruz is more effective at it. You know, he just is a big puncher, but he definitely applies pressure better than Salido. So
he applies pressure better than Salido. Jason Sosa, he applies pressure better than all of them guys. So, and I agree with you, it's a good fight. It's just that I don't know if his father would let him take that fight. Because remember, his daddy didn't want him fighting Rigo for whatever fucking reason was. So, but Burchell, Corrales, I could see him beating him, and the IBF belt is vacant. There's some, like you said, there's some good fights for him. You got Leon Walsh, like I said, you got Javier Fortuna, even Salido, Ricardo Nunez. You got some fights there for him that could be made. So if he can go to 130 and he feel comfortable, because like I said, 126, I don't know what's been going on, but for the last 2 years, 126 been at a stalemate with these guys, man. You know, so man, don't go to 130, man, and make your mark. And now what I'm gonna hate, and you know, people gonna get mad at me for saying it, but I'm gonna say it. What I hate is if he goes to 130 and he fights Lomachenko, Gary Russell should be a fucking shame of himself, because Gary Russell been telling us forever that he wanted that fight at 130, and he ain't made no moves that way just yet. So we'll see what happens, man.
TK, do you think he could actually win what would it be, his fourth or fifth division? I think it'll be his fourth. I just don't want to be wrong on that one. 112. Yeah, would it be his third or fourth division if he?
I thought
his fourth. It would be his fourth.
Is his fourth? Okay.
I think it would be his fourth. Do you think he could actually win the title at 130 with the talent that's there right now? He's not a big puncher. He started at a very small weight. Do you think he could actually win the title at 130?
Absolutely. A guy like Jezreel Corrales, he will be a tough matchup for him. Absolutely. Also Miguel Burchell. I like Burchell, but Burchell's movement, like I said before, he likes to turn his opponent, but he doesn't move after turning his opponent. He stays right there. So a guy like Leo Santa Cruz, who's throwing about 100 punches per fucking round, even though he gets turned, he will still be able to find Miguel Burchell and continue his offensive arsenal. You know what I'm saying? Or continue to throw his offensive arsenal. So, yeah, I mean, those two guys right there, those are excellent matchups that he can actually, you know, take a belt off of, either one of those guys. And also, like I said, I like the Vasily Lomachenko fight, man. So, yeah, I think he definitely could be.
Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and go into our next topic from there. The status of Tyson Fury. He's still suspended over in the UK because I guess doping or what happened with a bad drug test after the fight against Vladimir Klitschko. They had a hearing for it early in the year, and they were supposed to start things back up. Still hasn't happened. So he's been out of the ring essentially 2 years, and to me, he's still kind of a wild card in the heavyweight division. I just want to get you guys' take on if he is able to get past this little situation and the suspension. Can he come back for 2 years off? Can he come back and be a key figure against any of these guys?
First of all, that nigga is not a wild card. That motherfucker didn't make the playoffs. That's number one. Number two, a motherfucker that come in back to boxing fatter than Bo, nigga, that nigga done, fool. He ain't doing shit else for a very long. This nigga's like 326, dog. This big fat biscuit eating motherfucker, he's done. You know what I'm saying? And then he tried to run with what's his name, Billy Ho, and the nigga got tired and shit like in the first mile. This nigga's done, man. Tyson Fury can't come back unless we're talking about out of everything that he's done. I get a nigga 2 years of hard work, and then he might be able to get back to form. But if he decides to come back anytime soon after his suspension, right? Anytime soon, he's not going to be the same guy that beat Vladimir Klitschko. I don't think he's going to have the endurance. I don't think he's going to have the foot speed. I don't think he's going to have the ring generalship because he hasn't been under the bright lights in a long-ass time since the fucking Klitschko win, actually. You know what I'm saying? So he hasn't been under the bright lights for a while, so the ring generalship's not going to be there. And then we're talking about him fighting guys like Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. Now, he's a guy that I thought would have beaten Deontay Wilder 2 years ago, whenever that was when he beat Vladimir Klitschko. I had him beating Deontay Wilder back then. Today, no. Anytime after his suspension is uplifted, absolutely not. Not coming into the ring, from having to lose over 100 pounds. Hell no, man. Not a fucking chance in hell. Anthony Joshua knocks him the fuck out. So, nah, man. He needs to talk about coming back around 2019. That's when he needs to talk about coming back. And in that, and within that time frame, we need to be seeing videos of him in the gym, putting in 15, 20 rounds of sparring. You know what I'm saying? Doing some dramatic type of training on some kickboxer type shit. Jean-Claude Van Damme, nigga, getting the goddamn coconuts thrown on his stomach type shit. You know what I'm saying? We need to see some shit like that. Then I'll be like, yeah, he's ready. He'll come back and he's gonna end up being, the lineal champion that he was when he left. But as of now, hell the fuck no.
All right, Bo, you got anything you want to add on to this one?
Oh man, it's kind of crazy because I hear everything 2K saying, but here's my thing is, for whatever reason, man, the UKADA has been fucking with this dude, and they haven't passed the judgment on him. And to a certain degree, they're fucking with Tyson, but if that's fucking with you, then that means that it's something wrong with your mental anyway. That shouldn't be fucking with you to the point to where you're doing this to yourself. So, a lot of this shit is self-inflicted with Tyson Fury, but yeah, you really can't add too much on what 2K had on, because when your only last video of us seeing you is working out with Billy fucking Ho, that in itself is sad, dog. I'm sorry. That in itself is sad.
We ain't heard the dish come out of his out of 2K's mouth yet. What dish was they over there eating during that workout? What was
their snack? Bro. Man, after them motherfuckers ran 0.1 mile before getting tired, they went back to Billy Ho's house and had 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Nigga, y'all already know.
This nigga said 0.1 mile, dog. That's your driveway, nigga. That's your driveway distance, nigga. Oh, hell no, man. But yeah, I want Tyson Fury to go ahead on and just, he needs to stay going. The problem is he's such an interesting figure that people keep paying attention to him, man. But they need to just let that motherfucker be, man. Shit.
I mean, that is something that the heavyweight division is supposed to have, is a personality. And, Deontay has a personality, but he doesn't get the exposure.
I want a personality. He's fighting, motherfucker. I don't want a personality on the sidelines talking to me.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, so I guess we could go into our next topic. The card was actually officially announced, but we've already put it out there before. But since it's official now, I guess we can go on the record about some stuff. Erislandy versus Terrel Gausha card.
Man, I ain't talking about this goddamn fight, man. Fuck you, man. Fuck you.
You got you, Cubano.
No, man.
OG Guantanamo.
Excellent fight. Terrel Gausha is an excellent fighter. He beat Jesse Hart twice in the amateurs. Excellent fighter. 100% of my respect to Erislandy Lara for taking the difficult matchup.
Tell us how you really feel, motherfucker.
He beat him twice in the amateurs, guys.
Well, I mean, Bo, you got something you could add on to it, just to, we've heard him talk before, so we don't know what kind of relevance there is to it.
You know what? I tell you what. Here, I can add on to this fight. I can't wait to see the scorecard. There you go.
Hey, let me just tell you guys, okay? You guys don't know. Y'all, that's my casual voice. You don't know shit about boxing, okay? Fucking Terrel Gausha, he beat Jesse Hart. Do I have to say it more than once? He beat Jesse Hart fucking twice. God damn it. And he's 20-9. I understand he only has 9 knockouts,
But he's an excellent boxer. I mean, look at Paulie Malignaggi. He won the WBA title, and he only had like 5 knockouts in 77 fights. So Terrel Gausha could definitely knock out a guy who runs and stuff like Erislandy Lara. I mean, this is an excellent fight, guys. You complain about stuff, and then when they make great fights, you complain again. I mean, what the fuck do you want?
Crazy. You know what? All I'm gonna say is this right here, right? All I'm gonna say is this: if you know anything about boxing, tell me how does this sound to you? Charlo versus Lubin, yeah, nigga. Hurd versus Austin, yeah, nigga. Lara versus Gausha, what?
Okay. But what has Lubin done? Well, who the fuck is Erickson Lubin? And what the fuck is wrong with his first name, Erickson? That's not even a real name. Like, it could have just been Eric Lubin. Why the fuck did they add the son? Doesn't make any sense. Him and Terrel Gausha are the same.
Man, that nigga got that shit down.
He's doing.
That nigga got that shit down, boy.
Wow.
That shit is crazy.
Okay, so I guess we kind of know what the Lara Gausha fight is, but let's talk about the undercards, man. Trout and Hurd is actually probably
Lara and Gausha is the undercard. The fuck out of here. I ain't gonna acknowledge that shit, man. Fuck you.
Anyway, but Trout and Hurd is probably the most intriguing fight on the card to me personally. Let me get you guys' take on that one. Starting off with both, so 2K can get his voice back together after all that goddamn impersonating. What do you think is
2K only keeping it real because that's how the motherfuckers sound when they debating with you. You hit them niggas with them facts and shit. They want to ask you, what has this guy done? Well, he did a lot more than goddamn Gausha, I can tell you that.
Absolutely.
But what do you think as far as the Trout versus Hurd fight?
It's both them fights, Charlo and Trout. You can possibly see them guys losing. You can possibly see them losing that title. I'm not saying it can happen, but here's what I like about that Trout Hurd fight is that when Jared Hurd didn't fight, he didn't fight Erislandy Lara, but he chose Austin Trout. I'm like, okay, man, that's a pretty good fight because Austin Trout, crafty veteran. I think he's been out 18 months, so he hasn't fought in a while. But he's a guy who stays in the gym. He stays ready. He has a lot of experience. He was in there with Canelo. He was in there with Lotta. He was in there with Cotto. Former world champion. So he has a good pedigree and a good resume. So it's a good fight because you're fighting a crafty veteran. Now, it can spell problems for her because if Hurd tries to fight Trout like he fought Harrison, Austin Trout is not mentally fucking weak, and Austin Trout don't fade either. Okay, so he got to come, and he got to bring, he's got to let his hands go. He's got to be aggressive. He got to be on Trout. He can't let Trout get complacent. He can't let Trout dictate. He has to show us why he's a young champion. So there's a lot of things that in my mind that Hurd can answer in this fight. Because, like I said, I didn't like how he looked against Harrison. Just the fact that he knew if he took Harrison in the D-Wars, he would fold, and that's exactly what happened. Well, you better not think that way about Trout, otherwise Trout could pull up the upset. But it's a good fight. I'm gonna leave it up to 2K to break it down because, as far as I'm concerned, what he's gonna have to do is something that we're not used to seeing her do which is he's gonna have to let his hands go. He's gonna have to apply pressure. He's gonna have to use angles and somewhat be defensive-minded because Trout is a very slick, crafty southpaw. And then again, it depends on if Trout is the same because we haven't seen him in 18 months. So I like the fight, man.
All right, TJ, you want to elaborate on anything extra on this one, man? Like I said, I think this is probably the most interesting fight on the card. Bo kind of hit it on the nail, saying Hurd still has a lot to prove off of his last performance against Tony Harrison. So let me go ahead and let you dig in on that one, man.
I'm not going to break it down right now. We'll break it down the week before the fight. It's an excellent fight, man. I think it's a fight that a lot of people are sleeping on. Jared Hurd did not look good against Tony Harrison, regardless of the fact that he ended up winning by knockout. And Tony Harrison, he quit while standing up straight. You know what I'm saying? But Jarrett Hurd has a lot of flaws, man. I mean, he could be thoroughly outboxed. I mean, this nigga runs into jabs. I mean, it's like, it's funny because it's like he's trying to he's so hell-bent on getting on the inside against a boxer that he's just going to run into your jab if you just keep that bitch out there. And the funny thing is, when he was fighting C-level fighters before Tony Harrison, he didn't fight like that. I mean, I know his fight before Tony Harrison, he didn't look that good. But he still didn't fight like that the majority of his career. He was actually showed some signs of being a good defensive fighter. You know what I'm saying? So,
way in.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So he was actually boxing motherfuckers and moving defensively and showed good head movement and showed a way, evasive skills, the ability to elude. But then the fight before Tony Harrison, he kind of went in there and tried to maul him and ended up getting hit with a lot of shots before, beating him. And I tried to tell a lot of cats, because I was talking about Jarrett Hurd, and a lot of cats were like, man, nigga, what the fuck you talking about, man? This nigga just look whack against this whack-ass bum nigga he just fought. I was like, man, hold up, man. He just fighting a nigga like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it was, I can't remember. It was his first, I'm not looking at his shit right now, but it was something like, it was his first fight at doing something. I can't remember. Was it above the 154-pound limit when he fought Jojo Dan? I can't remember. I'm sorry. It was Jojo Dan's first fight at 154. Yeah. That's what it was. So I was telling cats, I was like, it was a smaller fighter. He was just trying to go for the knockout, which he ended up getting the TKO. But I was telling him, I was like, he only fought like that because he knew he was fighting a smaller fighter. He was trying to get him out of there. They're like, all right, nigga, we'll believe you now. We'll believe you right now. I was like, cool. Then he fights Tony Harrison, fight the same fucking way. A guy who's not a smaller fighter, who's actually bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he fought the same way. So when niggas came back to me on that shit, there was nothing I could say. I was like, well, yeah, you fought a dumbass fight. Maybe he's not as smart as I thought he was. So with looking at this new Jarrett Hurd going in there against Austin Trout should win this fight. Not only should he win it, Austin Trout should win this fight a good 116-112 if he can stay on his feet, uses superior boxing, uses superior movement, keep the fight at a distance, and keep the fight in the middle of the ring, turning this motherfucker every time he throws a 1-2. It's an easy fight for Austin Trout. I mean, let's look at the Austin Trout that fight Jamal Charlo. I thought he beat Jamal Charlo, okay? And the way he beat Jamal Charlo is fighting exactly the way I want him to fight Jarrett Hurd, who's nowhere near as skilled as a fighter as Jamal Charlo. So I think it can either be an easy fight or it could be a fight where Austin Trout is in there and he gives it away. And I told, shout out to Adrian. I told Adrian not too long ago, a couple days ago, when she asked me about this fight, I said, I have Trout winning, but it's going to be an issue because it could be a situation where we don't know which Trout we're going to get. You see what I'm saying? Trout has been losing with the last major fights he's been in, the last three. I think it was Canelo, Lara, and Jamal Charlo. He lost them officially, right? So what Trout are we going to see? Are we going to see a Trout that may be affected by the Jamal Charlo loss? Or are we going to see the same old Austin Trout, the one that beat Miguel Cotto, the one that I think beat Erislandy Lara? I mean, not Erislandy Lara, excuse me. Wrong fight. Canelo Alvarez. So it just depends on that, what the mindset of Austin Trout is. But this fight is his to give, man, straight up. So we'll see, man. It is a very intriguing fight. I can't wait to see it.
Definitely have some other interesting news from Austin Trout this week. I guess he filed a suit against $40 million suit against the WBO for dropping him out of their rankings when he was a mandatory to fight for their title. So, I mean, he's got a lot going on right now. We have seen a successful suit of that nature against the WBO before. I guess one of the fighters actually won $31 million for him before having to come up with another settlement out of court. But I mean, pretty much follows the same parameters as the previous incident where, he was kicked out of the rankings. I'm not sure how it's going to play out because Trout did fight for a title against Jamal Charlo, you know, they normally drop you out of rankings after that anyway, or lower you in the rankings in other sanctioning bodies. So I'm not sure how it's going to play out, but I'll actually be paying attention to that one just to see how it plays out. I guess we could go into our next topic from here, man. I want to get you guys this topic on something. I was reading, a little interview with Floyd Mayweather Sr. on Fight Hype the other day. You know, he was giving a shout-out to his coach, Dale Williams, you know, who taught him the shoulder roll. Pretty much he taught Floyd, you know what I'm saying, younger Floyd. But he did touch on something as far as, trainers, just being crap these days. And I wanted you guys to kind of, both of you guys have been in the gym, as amateurs, so you guys could probably speak on this a whole lot better. And, you paying attention to pro as much as you guys, professional fights as much as you guys do. Are we seeing the death of the teacher trainer in boxing, man? Let me get you guys to elaborate. I'll start with 2K because I know you're active as far as training youngsters right now too.
Absolutely, 100%. Adrian Broner, Mike Stafford's a good example of that.
God damn you, 2K! You motherfucker! God damn you!
That's excellent. It's an excellent. If you ask any boxing enthusiast this question, that's the first example they're gonna give you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the number one. They are the epitome of what is the problem between a trainer and a fighter. They're the epitome of that. You know what I'm saying? You've got Danny Garcia and Angel Garcia. You've got damn, I just had one. Even though
Robert Guerrero and his dad.
Say it again?
Robert Guerrero and his father.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're retired, but yeah, you're right about that. I was gonna say, you guys might not agree with this. Yoel Diaz and Tim Bradley towards the end. Now, this is my thing. Yoel Diaz, I highly respect, but I felt that he stayed too fucking long. You know what I'm saying? I think Yoel Diaz should have removed himself because it became clear that Tim Bradley was no longer respecting Yoel Diaz as a trainer. He wanted to do what the fuck he wanted to do. Yoel Diaz should have sidestepped and said, fuck it. Do what you want to do. I'm going to go over here and fuck with these fighters, bro. Instead, he let Tim Bradley fire him. You got Sergey Kovalev and John David Jackson. You see what I'm saying? John David Jackson was literally, and he told us, he would be in the camp just holding the mitts. He would have a strategy for Kovalev, but Kovalev is ultimately going to do whatever the fuck he wants to do in the ring. They said that in the press conference of the first Andre Ward fight. They both said that, right? I think it was the second Andre Ward fight, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. Sergey Kovalev, or it was the first one, excuse me. Sergey Kovalev had this Russian motherfucker in there talking. You know what I'm saying? John David Jackson, you look at y'all go back and look at the replay of the fight. John David Jackson's trying to say something to him, trying to give him advice. Kovalev's like, yeah, nigga, shut the fuck up, dog. Hey, what'd you say? Oshklov, whatever his fucking name is. Hey, what did you say? And he's letting him talk, and be the trainer, the position that John David Jackson was hired for. You see what I'm saying? So, absolutely, we're no longer having the traditional trainer-to-fighter relationship, and it's because of money. You know what I'm saying? Money has killed boxing. Money has killed every fucking sport. I can go into the NBA, and we got whack-ass niggas like, Matthew Dellavedova making $9 million for 3 years, and the nigga's garbage. You know what I'm saying? $9 million per year for 3 years. Nigga's garbage as fuck. Third-string point guard. Probably shouldn't be in the league. So, money has killed almost every sport out there, and we're just seeing how it's killed boxing by these different examples, and the trainer-fighter relationship is one of them. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely no longer there, man. It's terrible.
All right, I'm gonna let Bo touch on a different side of this as far as 2K touched on the business affecting the relationship. As far as actual fundamentals and skill, man, what do you see happening? Do you see it diminishing on that side as well? Like, are we losing that aspect of boxing in general? I mean, the school of George Bentons and, Eddie Futches and stuff like that. I mean, are we going to see any replica of those in the trainers we have now? Like, do you see any of that in any of the trainers we have now?
It's funny you mention that because me and James Ali Bashir, this is something we always talk about, Uncle James. And yeah, hell yeah, you see it diminishing. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a more recent factor. We're seeing a diminish in just basic boxing 101. 2K just mentioned Jared Hurd walking into fucking jabs. Motherfucker, you ain't learned to parry a jab? That's boxing 101. Parry the fucking jab. You know what I'm saying? That's boxing 101, nigga. You parry your jab. You ain't learned to parry your jab? We saw Hatley, who footwork was so horrible, this nigga didn't know to sidestep properly. He sidestepped into a fucking punch. You know what I'm saying? You know, this nigga sidestepped into the goddamn punch.
Hey,
okay.
I told y'all niggas he was an amateur before the fight, though. Y'all already knew that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
that nigga's not talked about here, man.
Man, I actually skipped over their fight. Since you mentioned that, we'll go on to that after, though. But go ahead, Bo.
Okay, yeah, but and that's what you're seeing, and you're seeing. I mean, even with Erickson Lubin, okay, you see these flaws. Tank Davis, you see these flaws because it's not just money like 2K say, but it's flash. Everybody wants to be fucking impressive instead of being fucking good. Okay, Everybody want to be fucking popular and talked about instead of being fucking ready. You know, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's the environment we live in where nobody wants to take the right long path. They want that quick, easy path. You throw motherfuckers in the ring because this nigga can punch. But can he move side to side? Can he throw a jab? Can he parry a punch? I mean, what the fuck? Will he gas the fuck? What the fuck else this nigga can do? Then, look at some of the things.
That's just like, again, I can make that analogy. It's just like basketball, man. Niggas be getting drafted because they can dunk. They're athletic, but these motherfuckers can't shoot a free throw, can't play no key. Yeah, exactly.
Right. You know, then on top of that, this right here is the worst thing. You now have fighters doing shit to prepare for a fight that ain't got nothing to do with fucking boxing. You don't CrossFit train for boxing, nigga. You hit a heavy bag. You hit the net, motherfucker. You jump rope, nigga. God damn. You got these motherfuckers talking about some try protein shake 1-on-1 and do CrossFit. The fuck that got to do with boxing? That ain't never got you ready for boxing, motherfucker. And that's what you have them doing. So that's why guys like Floyd. See, think about how guys like Floyd and Pacquiao and Cotto and these motherfuckers can be 40 years old fighting. In the 80s, you couldn't be 40 fighting, nigga. You get your ass whooped. Okay? You couldn't be 40 fighting. Sugar Ray Leonard found that shit out the hard way. Get your ass out, nigga. You 35 and it's past your time. Get the fuck out of here. See? Oh. But you couldn't do that. But so it's not so much as just the training. It's so much as the environment we live in. We want the cat that's flashy. We want we're casual. They're catering to the casual. Oh, this dude can knock somebody out. That's why you say stupid shit to me like, or look at Gennady Golovkin jab. Motherfucker, he has over 300 amateur fights. He's supposed to have a fucking jab. A jab don't impress me, nigga. Damn. Really? You impressed by a fucking jab? You know? I mean, think about something, and like 2K said it, and he's right. Like, think about some of the shit you hear casual say. Did you see the way he stepped over? Wow, wow. The way he stepped over, laughing through that punch, that was impressive. No, motherfucker, that's boxing 103. Like, that's some basic shit, nigga. You know, they're impressed by basic shit. So, you know, like you said, if you're athletic, punch somebody out, you're flashy, those are the things that goes in sales. I think, remember, we talked about that with niggas doing the mitts and shit. You know, like, come on, okay, yeah, you're doing the mitts, but how many opponents stand still? You know, so, yeah, there's definitely a loss in the art of what you see from Eddie Futch, Ray Arkell, Lou Duva, Angelo Dundee, you know, George Bitton. It's definitely a loss in that aspect. Emmanuel Stewart. The only best boxing fighter relationship that you have now, right now, is Virgil Hunter, Andre Ward. Because Virgil Hunter can get in Andre Ward's face like he did in fight one. What the fuck is you doing? That's not what the fuck we worked on. Dre, you know better than this. And Andre Ward didn't say nothing, right? Listen, I have nothing against Jermell Charlo. But when Ronnie Shields got in his face, that motherfucker like, nah, man, I don't like that shit, man.
Nah, yeah, exactly. I agree. That was a dumb mistake, man. I mean, I like Derek James. You know what I'm saying? He's a good person, but Ronnie Shields is a much better trainer for Jermell Charlo's style, fam. And I always say that. And we're going to see Jermell Charlo take a L. I think Erickson Lubin's going to beat him because of this. If Ronnie Shields was training Jermell, I think he beats Erislandy Lara, but he's not. I'm telling you, man. You were on point with that one.
I mean, okay, so that's actually all I really wanted to come back on because me and Bo talked about this one last week. We both, I think we both actually thought Charlo would win because of the experience factor. I'm one of those guys that I look at the upside. I mean, I see something in Jamel, as far as putting things together mentally. That I think he'll be able to put things together mentally on his own and create his own actual, style that caters to him out of both what he learned from Shields and James. Like, I'm thinking it's going to take a couple camps to get that. He's in there against Finch, sparring isn't necessarily fighting, but what they say, steel sharpens steel.
Well,
them niggas
being there.
He's gotten quality work against Erislandy Lara as well when he was with Shields camp. So, I mean, he's seen a lot.
Them niggas be in there sparring for real, though. They don't just... Derek James don't have them going 60%, though, fam. They be in there sparring like it's a real fight. So, that's
true. That's true. Matter of fact, when we interviewed Derek, he said
Erislandy Lara, he's got experience. I got him for an experience factor. And I think, maybe not this camp, but I'm thinking within the next two, maybe the next one or two, like he's going to put things together mentally and get back to seeing more of the, defensive. See more of the defensive Charlo we've seen when he was with Ronnie Shields. But I definitely was glad that you pointed that out, 2K, because that's actually what I wanted to touch on with you as far as that fight. What did you think of it and just the early prospects of it, considering the experience difference and all that? But pretty shocking. I didn't think he would pick Lubin, but okay.
When did he so after the Joaquin Alcine fight, that's when Jamel went to Derek James, right? Right before the John Jackson fight?
Yeah, right before John Jackson. John Jackson was his first camp with him.
Understand, fam, that's 2 years. They've had 3 fights together, or 2 fights together, but they've been around each other. At least Derek James has been the head trainer for 2 years. Typically, a fighter of what we believe Jamel Charlo's caliber is, it doesn't take him 2 years to get acclimated with a new trainer, fam. The way he fought with Ronnie Shields tapped into the strengths of his specific style. You understand? If Jamel Charlo was a cerebral fighter, meaning he was a smarter fighter that we tend to believe, he would have easily been able to get acclimated with Derek James. You see what I'm saying? Derek James is training him to sit down more on his punches, to become more of a boxer puncher, whereas Ronnie Shields was training him to be, okay, you're not like Jamal. You're more of a defensive, elusive fighter that doesn't have a lot of snap on his punches. We're going to teach you how to box from the outside and move and use defense to spring your offense. That's what Ronnie Shields was training him to do. But Derek James is like, well, you don't have a lot of snap on your punches. We know you want to fight like Jamal. I'll train you how to fight like Jamal. That's the fucking problem, dog. Training him to fight a different style is going to be the problem. Jamel Charlo is not Jamal. He can't fight like that. He has other strengths that allow him to fight a different style and effectively in a different style. If he tries to fight Erislandy Lara with this new style, just like we've seen with John Jackson, no disrespect to him, but John Jackson is garbage, fam. You know what I'm saying? When this fight was announced, Charlo and Jackson, I kind of had the same prediction that I had with Charlo Hatley. I was like, oh yeah, he should murk this nigga. John Jackson ain't gonna win 3 rounds. But instead, what we've seen is John Jackson winning the majority of the rounds, actually winning the fucking fight. You understand what I'm saying? This is the same guy that had Andy Lee on Queer Street, but was too overzealous that he runs right into a signature left fucking hand. Probably one of the dumbest fighters that's highly ranked at 154. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And Jamel Charlo was having trouble with him. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Erislandy Lara is not a John Jackson. Of course, he doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the resume. But neither does fucking John Jackson. He only beat Willie Nelson. Or actually, he lost to Willie Nelson. My bad. He was undefeated when he fought Willie Nelson. And Willie Nelson tapped that ass. You know what I'm saying? So he really don't got the fucking resume. But he was beating Jermell. Erickson Lubin can do everything John Jackson was able to do in that fight 5 times better. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all, dog. He cannot fight this new Jermell Charlo way against a talent like Erickson Lubin. He's going to lose.
All right.
I think the reason why Derek James fit with Jermell is from a mental aspect and not as well as physical. I think it's mental. I think mentally he likes the teachings and the quietness and the not so much in your face and the continuous probably criticizing rhetoric that Rodney Shields was giving him, because Derek James is laid back. That's why him and Errol Spence get along. Derek James is one of those dudes that tells you, he's like, okay, tell me what you want to do and I'll help you get there. And he's just one of those. He's one of those type of coaches.
See, and that's only good in my opinion for cerebral fighters. Guys who are not necessarily guys who are not necessarily cerebral, they need direction. They don't need a coach that says, like you said, hey, go ahead and tell me how you want to be and I'll mold you to be that fighter. No, that's not like I wouldn't have been a decent fighter without the type of trainer that I had that said, no, motherfucker, this is what I see that you're good at. This is what you're going to do. You see what I'm saying? I always wanted to be I didn't tailor my shit off Floyd Mayweather because he wasn't the nigga back then, but I always wanted to be a defensive type of fighter. But my strengths were power and inside fighting. So my trainers were like, yo, nigga, we going to put you on the inside. So I ended up going from a guy who thought he was a defensive Floyd Mayweather jabbing nigga move on the outside type of fighter to a nigga that was beating your gut up on the inside. Why? Because my trainers saw my strengths and they made me that kind of fighter. That's how it works.
Funny you say that. When I remember being in the gym and cats were coming to the gym and the coach would ask you, yo, who's your favorite fighter? And I'm going to tell you about a story about a guy. I think he was like, at that time, he was like maybe 5'5", 5'6", 145, maybe 150. I forget his name, though, but, real good fighter in the hood, But he goes into the gym and the coach fucking tells him. He asked him, said, yo, man, who's your favorite fighter? He said, I said, man, my favorite fighter, Muhammad Ali, man. Okay, so that's the style you like? Yep. Okay, hit the heavy bag, right? So the guy hits the heavy bag, and the coach tells him, come in, man. You're not going to be Muhammad Ali. You're too short. You love going to the inside. You punch to the body like a motherfucker. Exactly. That's what the coach told me. He said, okay, dog, check this out. You're not going to be Muhammad Ali. Okay? He said, you too short, number one, all right? Your arms is long for your height, but you love going to the body. You love being inside, and you punch to the body like a motherfucker because you're moving the bag. So you're going to have to you ain't going to be Ali, but I can make you into who you are as a fighter just by how you hit the bag. And that's the 2K story. You're right. You know what I'm saying? And that nigga went on to be one of the greatest motherfuckers I've ever known in my entire goddamn life. He's 6'1", 175 now. But but the 2K point,
I should
100% correct.
Where's the mute button just for that shit? Man. But
2K is right though. You always want to be one fighter, but your body and the way you fight is something totally different. And that you 100% correct, man. I've seen trainers do shit like that. I've seen cats come into the gym and trainer be like, yo, who you want to be? Mike Tyson. Okay, hit the bag. Nigga hit the bag. You say, all right, man, you ain't going to be Tyson. Why not? Well, because you 6'7", you got long motherfucking arms, and you like fighting on the outside. So, nigga, you ain't going to be Tyson. And that's just, and that's just how it is, man.
I mean, I guess I kind of get 2K's just he doesn't necessarily think Jermell is a cerebral fighter. I mean, so I could kind of see where he's going with it because, I mean, I've seen it to where it's worked for fighters, like Miguel Cotto's. He's had every trainer under the goddamn moon, and it's because he's needed to pick up certain skill sets. That was one of the things I alluded to before, which is what I thought essentially was what Jermell was doing, just trying to add on to a skill set that he had from Shields and, just become more proficient, you know what I'm saying? And, I thought over time it definitely will come together. We haven't had a chance to see it in 2 fights yet. Definitely not against John Jackson. And, the fight with Halley was kind of, whatever. It definitely wasn't typical. you know, of what we expected as far as stylistically, you know, but at least what I was expecting. So I mean, we'll see against Müvment, man. I'm definitely interested in this one. Wow. Okay. So we'll definitely hit the nets. Oh, that's another question I wanted to ask. What trainers do you guys see out there that fit that old school mold of trainers as far as you know, the Cusses, the you know, the George
Nobody.
Benton,
Nobody.
the Kevin Green. You don't see anybody out there in the landscape now. Nobody.
James Bashir, and that's probably about it, but nobody.
And that's because he's from the school of Crawford, though. You know.
Nazim, but he don't train no more. Nazim. But,
yeah, right. Prince Nazim, yeah.
He don't train no more, so everybody gone. Everybody's gone.
It's pretty disheartening to hear right there, man. I like some of the up-and-comers like, you know, the B-Max and Derek James. I like them guys, but, you know, you got to put out more champions than one before, you know, we could actually give you that kind of crown, too. So, you know, we'll definitely keep this.
You know what, Twan? Think about this, though. Think about this. You got motherfuckers calling.
Or, you know, even Manuel Robles. You know, I like him, too. I think he's a good
but think about this, though. You got motherfuckers calling cats like Andre Ward a dirty fighter because they don't know shit about inside fighting.
Right.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Very true. All right. I don't know if this one is something you guys heard from people. It's not as big of a shock considering it was an undercard for the event last week, but Thomas Dulorme and Yordenis Ugas peaked at 3.1 million viewers last week on Fox, man.
Give a look now!
Definitely a good look for both of them brothers, man. Definitely Ugas, you know, I'm a big fan of his. I like anybody that fights hard, even if they ain't necessarily the most skilled. So, I mean, I'll let Bo touch on this. What does this do for them in the aftermath? Do you think this, I mean, because it was actually a pretty exciting fight, you know what I'm saying? So do you think this does anything for their careers, boost them any kind of way?
Claro que sí, porque son buenas noticias, porque muchas las personas le viste. La Ugas, la orgullosa, la mucha, la corazón de la Cuba. Es un representante, un bueno, es muy buena la persona en la lucha. No le tiene miedo. Oh, my bad, I'm sorry, y'all. But
I got some of that shit.
I know you did. You know what? Here's the thing about that, and this is what I'm glad at. Okay, it peaked like that, and people can say, well, they was able to take advantage of the McGregor fight because it was a preliminary fight. Okay, so fucking what? That's called good business, right? But why aren't we happy at the fact that people got to see an up-and-coming fighter like Ugas now? Okay, so now you get to see this guy fight. So you'll be interested in seeing in his next fight because of the performance he put on. So I don't have a problem with cats getting them many views. I don't have a problem if it's because of a circumstance. I don't have a problem what the reason is. As long as people are watching guys fight and guys are getting a chance to get their shine on, because I'm going to say it again, this is the reason why Cotto, Floyd, Pacquiao, who I think Klitschko, this is the reason why I want them guys to go and retire, because as long as they're around, people aren't getting no shine. So you got to go to make room for these guys to get shine. And Ugas, who's been down there training hard, he's been working his ass off down there in Mundo Boxing Gym with Rand. And you know, it's crazy because he actually looked, when he first started fighting the way Rance Bartholomew looked in his last fight with Rocky. And now he looks like Rance Bartholomew looked before Rocky. And it's kind of crazy, you know. But that's just because, you know, he's in that gym every day. He's dedicated. So, man, I like the fight. I don't give a fuck if it was Top Rank or Golden Boy, okay? Because both of them guys got cats in their camp who ain't getting no shine that need some shine. So, man, you know, mad props to them for their ability to market this fight and piggyback off of a fight they knew a lot of people was going to watch, whether it was MMA fans and boxing fans, because it all works out for boxing. So, as far as I'm concerned, as long as it helps boxing, man, dude, I'm good with that, man.
All right. Have you heard anything as far as what's going to happen as far as what they're looking for to do with him next, Bo? Because, like I said, he's been taking a lot of these fights on like 1 week and 2 week notices, and you know, he's been winning them. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, what what are the plans for him, man? He's picking up some solid wins.
There's gonna be a push behind Ugas. They're gonna try to move him along in a way where you probably might see Ugas actually fight somebody ranked within the top 10 pretty soon. Not maybe the next fight, but the fight after that. That's kind of the talk's been, because they was very pleased with that performance. Because remember, he was a fill-in for Sean Porter, right? So
yeah, last minute.
He was a last-minute fill-in, and he took that fight on last notice. And there was another fight he took on like a 2-week notice, and he looked good. So there are rumors that they're going to start really putting something behind him, and that's because he was, out of all those guys, which is crazy, Rance Bartholomew and all them dudes, he was like the quiet. He was like the dude nobody mentioned that was down there working out with him. So it's good for him that this is happening.
All right, 2K, anything you want to add on to? 2K don't really care about this kind of shit, so I don't know, but so it's kind of hard to cater a question for him on this one. But just your thoughts on as far as the Dulorme Ugas fight and what you think of where their careers are headed based off of this kind of exposure.
This fight for Dulorme was a make or break. You know what I'm saying? And it broke him. So I don't know where Dulorme is going. He'll be on, ESPN Friday Night Fights. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, fuck that. He'll be on that in the Chicago gym, the first gym you start off in Fight Night round, Fight Night champion and shit.
Oh, hell no. you dirty motherfucker.
That's where that nigga Thomas Dulorme is headed. As for Ugas, man, that motherfucker, it's good. Congratulations to him, man, because we're talking about a guy that had a couple setbacks. You know what I'm saying? He lost early in his career. He lost to Amir Imam, you know what I'm saying, in dominant fashion. But he's come back to look like a guy that can possibly beat Amir Imam in a rematch.
They're great, Amir Imam.
Yeah, yeah. According to some people out there, you know what I'm saying? Names start with a T. Anyway, but I think he defeats him in a rematch, and it's the sky's the limit for Ugas, man. He can join the rest of his Cuban brethren, you know what I'm saying, and end up being a boogeyman in the sport, possibly. Who knows?
I think he needs to leave Casa Mayor, personally. There's some things he could clean up on, but, for what he's doing right now with that camp, it's incredible. It's a good story to see. I'm hoping to continue to see him blossom, and definitely looking forward to see him get some top 10 fights, either coming up or, 2018, like Bo was saying. With that said, we can start our previews of the week. We got an action-filled week of fighting, man. Starting off with this one, we got the WBC vacant super middleweight title being fought for between David Benavidez and Ronald Gavril. Man, there's so much that could be said here. There's a lot looming around. The Caleb Smith, Andre Terrell thing that happened, and Terrell pulled out of the Benavidez fight, and Caleb Smith's fighting for another WC made-up belt in the 168 World Boxing Super Series. Definitely interesting backstory with this fight. Gavril was the next man up, basically. So, he's filling in for Terrell. Let me get you guys' take on it. I haven't seen much of Gavril personally, so maybe 2K might be able to touch on this one better as far as breaking down or expectations for this fight. Go ahead, 2K.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Stay busy fight for David Benavidez, man. He's supposed to get that big fight. Motherfuckers pulled out. Now they're like, all right, go ahead and fight this nigga real quick, knock him out, and we'll try to get you in another big fight after this one. Don't mean to disrespect my man Ronald Gavril, but he about to get knocked the fuck out this coming weekend. It's about to be lights out, fam. I say like 4 rounds, maybe even 3. Maybe even 3.
All right, short and simple. Bo, prediction, thoughts on this one?
Earl Spence, man down.
Yeah, straight up.
All right.
I had him beat Anthony Terrell, so I know he'll beat this motherfucker.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna make it unanimous. Definitely picking Benavidez. I'm interested in seeing what happens with his career at 168. There's a lot of interesting fights out there right now. He's still an up and comer that a lot of people don't know about. Interesting career. We turned pro early, before 18, I believe. He's been in camp with Gennady Golovkin, so there's a lot of training camp rumors out there about him, or stories out there about him, as far as giving Gennady everything he can handle, and definitely having a high upside. He initially got into boxing just to lose weight, and now look at him, young and about to possibly is going to become a champion, one of the youngest champions.
Also, I want to add, Twan, just for people that don't know, he is the younger brother of welterweight, highly touted prospect Jose Benavidez as well. Both them motherfuckers are nice. So be on the lookout for both these cats.
And actually, Jose was considered the bigger prospect up until, over the last year or so. So, I mean, that shows you, how quickly things can turn and how fast he's picked up this sport. He's still a newcomer by relative terms, But we'll go ahead and go into our next card, which is probably the super exciting one. They call it the event Superfly, held in L.A., one of my favorite venues to go to, StubHub Center. We got the rematch between Chocolatito and Srisaket Sor Rungvisai. I'm not going to even pretend I said that right. But I guess we'll start off with the undercards of that one, man. We got Estrada, Juan Carlos Estrada El Gallo, facing Carlos Cuadras. Man, definitely the fight of the night, in my opinion. Man, I definitely want to hear you guys' take as far as breaking this one. TK, you got to go in on this one, man. Cuadras and Estrada.
Man, okay, so shout out to my man Willie the Kid over at Eastwick. You know what I'm saying? He's got a nice little tournament that he goes that he has annually. You know what I'm saying? It's called Pick'em every year. For I think it lasts about a year too. He'll add fights to a list of fights that people who are playing are going to pick the winner. And if you don't know who they are, it actually goes and makes you do the research on those fighters and ups your boxing knowledge. I mean, he puts fights from 105 all the way to heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. Your boy is a champion, of course, of the last one. I'm about to defend my crown for a second year.
Until I enter this shit next season at the beginning.
Everybody's saying that same shit. Y'all niggas gonna lose just like the rest of them. Anyway, but this fight is on there. I picked Estrada, but man, I keep going back and forth on this fight. Carlos Cuadras is the type of fighter that I like. He does what I like out of my fighters. As I mentioned earlier, I thought I was going to be that fighter that moves around the ring, uses a jab, outboxes niggas from a distance, you know what I'm saying, has to make motherfuckers come to me, and while they're coming to me, they're going to run into punches. That was the fighter I thought I was going to be. I ended up being the complete opposite of that. But I still enjoy that particular style, and that's exactly what Carlos Cuadras is. He enjoys fighting off of his back foot. A lot of people there's a misconception when they see Cuadras in there with a high-pressure fighter, him being on his back foot is because that high-pressure fighter is putting him there, and that's absolutely false. Cuadras actually enjoys being on the back foot. That's how he prospers in his fights. Estrada is exactly what I just said. A lot of people have a misconception of when he's in the ring with these type of styles, and it's the high-pressure, high-volume type of fight. He had an excellent type of fighter. He had an excellent fight with Roman Gonzalez, who, of course, is on the main event of this particular card. I thought Roman won it hands down. A lot of people thought it was a closer fight than what the judges thought it was. I think, where did they fight, at 112, Twan? Yeah. So it was at 112 pounds. And then since then, Estrada's been following this motherfucker. They might have fought at 108. I don't know.
They fought at 112.
Okay. I know Estrada's been following Roman Gonzalez since then and has been very vocal about getting a rematch with Roman. And in that aspect, he's been flooring and beating the shit out of everybody who comes his way, and that includes his move to 115. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I got Estrada winning this fight. Cuadras didn't look good against David Carmona. David Carmona fought a low-level type of style that Estrada is going to bring into the ring September 9th at a much higher level. And Carlos Cuadras seemed to have trouble with that. He also had trouble, even though I had him beating Roman Gonzalez. I had him beating Roman Gonzalez by a round. I felt that he still had trouble with the high-pressure, high-volume style of Roman Gonzalez. There were times that he was outboxing Roman, then there were times that he was losing rounds hands down because Roman stayed within his range, the range of his jab. You know, he stayed with his head in his chest. He would push him up against the ropes. He would fire off with his back up against the ropes. Cuadras would eventually turn off those ropes. He'd spin off those ropes. But Roman Gonzalez had already banked the necessary points to win that round before Carlos Cuadras could actually get back to form and try to dominate that particular round from the outside. Estrada's the same kind of fighter. The fact that I see a decline from the David Carmona fight, I can see Estrada doing the same thing and possibly winning this fight 116-112. That's 8 rounds to 4. I could see that happening. The only thing that I can say that Carlos Cuadras would have to do, he would have to remember who he was before the Roman Gonzalez fight, how he was dominating fighters, right? How his slick movement, his ability to pivot, his ability to throw punches and bunches from a distance, right? His ability he'll get on the ropes, use you as bait, or kind of bait you to come in, then he quickly spin off the ropes and throw a combination at you. Those type of things that he used to do before the Roman Gonzalez fight, he's going to have to how do I say, get back to being that Carlos Cuadras. I'm not saying that Roman took something out of him, or maybe I am saying Roman took something out of him. All I know is the fight after Roman, he looked very bad against a C-level fighter in that division. So, I mean, this is a guy, David Carmona, motherfucker had 5 draws. He on 3 losses and 5 draws. He probably should have beat the shit out of him, possibly knocked him the fuck out. Before Roman, he would have knocked this guy out. After Roman, he looked bad. So, if he can't get back to the Carlos Cuadras that was a dominant outside fighter who kept moving, kept his opponents guessing, the aggressive opponents kept him guessing, then I see him losing this fight. And the way I put my money on it, I don't see one fight later after David Carmona, only 6 months after looking that bad, him being able to turn it around and beat a guy at Juan Francisco Estrada's talent level. I got Estrada winning, man, 116-112.
All right. Man, let me pass it on Bo to get his thoughts on this one.
Well, I guess being someone who is...
We got Chunky Chunks on, by the way, just to let y'all know. Big Cruz on. What's going on, man?
What's up, fellas?
He come on here shouting all sleepy and shit. Nigga.
Nah, man, it's my birthday weekend, man, so I've been drinking, but come on, man.
Oh, happy birthday, man. We got 2, so it looks like we got 2 birthdays this week in the move.
No. Fuck y'all, man. Fuck y'all. Y'all
it's tomorrow, man. Appreciate it.
Feliz cumpleaños. Feliz cumpleaños.
Let a nigga happy birthday.
Whose birthday was it? Is Jarrell's and Bo's?
Yeah,
Mine tomorrow. Mine tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, man. Happy birthday, fellas. Happy birthday. I
Appreciate
didn't know that.
Appreciate it.
Damn.
Yeah, you didn't see Bo in there in his video with her duck facing and shit talking about this my birthday song.
That
nigga was actually alive when Stevie Wonder made the remix to Happy Birthday too.
Actually, I was, nigga. I ain't even laugh to you, motherfucker.
He's in the studio with him.
As a matter of fact, niggas, I remember watching Marvin Gaye sing the national motherfucking anthem for the NBA, motherfuckers.
Oh, ass nigga. Look here.
Jerry curls and everything. He probably had one then too. That's when he had hair.
Look here. Most birth certificates might say mid-40s. Add 15 to that. That's how old that nigga really is.
Cubano.
Joel kept some of yours.
Check the documentos.
Motherfucker, when I was growing up, goddamn it, the Partridge Family was on TV, niggas. Y'all don't know nothing about that shit.
Yeah, nah, nigga, that's old time. That's when TVs in black and white.
Little house on the prairie and shit. Nigga, I can see those on the prairie.
You said MASH.
Oh, yeah, MASH, Little House on the Prairie, Gunsmoke, The Rifleman. Holla at me, niggas. But Bonanza. I remember Bonanza was right, so holla at me, boy. What the fuck y'all motherfuckers?
Well, Andy Griffith, all that shit. Andy Griffith.
My grandma loved Bonanza. She passed 5 years ago. That's how old you are.
Fuck you, nigga, man.
Go ahead, Bo.
Y'all still wrong for that bullshit that y'all did on the page, but you know, I got something for you niggas. I got something like you motherfuckers, man. But shit, matter of fact, I remember Lou Gossett Jr. had hair.
Damn.
But
wow. I'm like Lou Gossett Jr. That's
Lou Gossett Jr. had hair. Lawrence Fishburne was skinny. I remember all that shit, man.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that though. I remember Lawrence was skinny. The only time I seen Lou Gossett Jr. with hair. See if y'all niggas remember this movie. Y'all remember that movie Diggstown?
Yeah, he had the little he had the cul-de-sac.
Exactly.
No, I ain't talking. I'm talking. That nigga had a full head of hair. I remember that. I remember that shit. That nigga had a full head of hair. I remember that.
But let's get into your breakdown.
You see, this, you know, since I'm one of age here, I'm gonna use a little history. We have seen fighters in history who don't look great one fight, but they look great the next fight. The question is that what Quadras is made of? Because it got to be made of something special not to look so good in one fight and look good in the next fight. Now, the Quadras reasoning for not looking that good was the motherfucker claimed when he went to fight to do that, it was cold and he wasn't used to the cold and all that yada yada horse dumb bullshit, which I don't give you no excuse, motherfucker. It wasn't cold inside the ring. It wasn't cold inside the arena. So don't give me that it was cold when you got there and all that old shit, right? Just tell me you probably half-ass trained or you wasn't ready, whatever the fuck. But this is a fight that I go back and forth on also because I can actually see Estrada winning because Estrada does give you pressure, but unlike Roman Gonzalez with pressure, Estrada also, he'll step left or he'll step right and he'll finish up to the body or come up to the head. So he gives you these different looks and angles. The problem with Estrada is when he's coming forward at you, he's not necessarily punching. He throws little, like what I call range-finding punches, and there ain't nothing behind it. And then once he sees your back foot hit the rope or your back hit the rope, then he closes the distance very good and jumps on you. Quadras, on the other hand, if, like 2K said, if he goes back to what he does, which is keeping punches in your face, boxing, his movement, okay, when, you know, punching at you while he's going back and then sliding off those ropes. Those are things he's going to have to do if he wants to win this fight. And for anybody who criticized can he do it, that's actually a very good criticism because it was disturbing to watch how he looked in that fight against that guy, that level of opponent. So you're going to be judged for people who get angry and be like, man, why y'all doing that? Well, we can only judge you off your last fight. If you look like shit in your last fight, then that's what we got to judge you off of, man. That's really how boxing goes. Because you better believe, Estrada team is looking at that like, yo, look at how this dude looked in their last fight, and look what this dude has success at, and that's what they're gonna fight you at. So, man, I go back and forth. Today, I'm going with Quadras. Today, I think I just don't like how Quadras is talking. like the only reason that thing that made me want to pick Estrada is Quadras is talking about knocking him out. He's talking about fighting him in close and getting on his chest and knocking him out. I'm like, motherfucker, that is the wrong fight for your ass to fight. If that's what you're talking about doing. Yeah, I'm like, that's the wrong fight for you, motherfucker.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Quadras definitely likes to feel the fire and talk a lot, though. I mean, he definitely probably has one of the bigger personalities in that weight class. I mean, if you saw him before the Roman fight, drinking chocolate milk and shit like that, like he's a little bit of a jokester and talks a lot. So I mean, do I think he'll actually fight Quadras like that? No. I'll let Big Cool put out his pick and do his breakdown as well. What do you think about this Quadras and Juan Francisco Estrada fight?
Very exciting fight, but like the guy was saying, you know, how Quadras go from looking good against, you know, Roman to looking subpar against Corona is mind-boggling. I know it wasn't the fight you wanted, but as a professional, you need to take each fight, you know, serious, like you fight for a world title. And like 2K said, I don't know if, you know, Roman took anything out of him or it was just a lack of preparation and respect for his opponent. But whatever it was, he's going to have to correct it. And hopefully he corrected it, you know, during this training camp for, you know, Estrada, who's an elite fighter who can punch, box, and he's going to bring the pressure, who gave Roman hell, you know, in their fight. And, you know, Quadras is going to have to use his feet, use his angles, you know, use his hand speed to keep Estrada at bay, use that jab, turn him, don't let him get comfortable and get into, you know, punching range where he can, you know, fire off his combinations and work the body. And I favor Quadras, but this is a tough fight, man, like I said, and this is what we love, you know, when we, you know, talk about these fights, you know, a 50-50 type fight that can go either way. But I'm going to stick with Quadras. No, matter of fact, I'm not going to stick with Quadras. I'm going to go with Estrada, man. I think that if, indeed, you know, Roman took some out of Quadras, you know, Estrada will be the guy to kind of take the rest of it out of him. And I think that he's going to out-hustle him, and maybe he might dominate this fight. You know, not say it would be surprising, but I think that he can, you know, out-muscle him, beat him up on the inside, and just kind of rough him up, man, because he couldn't keep Cremona off of him. I don't know how he's going to keep Estrada off of him. So I'm going to go with, you know, Estrada, unanimous decision. And, you know, it'll be a good fight, but I think Estrada is, you know, ready to kind of get his name back out there and show that he's still, you know, one of the upper echelon guys in the lower weight divisions.
All right. So pretty much my take on this one, man. The difference in this fight is going to be Estrada goes to the body a whole lot more than Roman Gonzalez does. I mean, just as high pace, but he definitely goes to the body a lot more. I see him starching Quadras, taking the starch out of Quadras, and definitely winning on UD. I don't think he stops him. But it could, if he does stop him, it's going to be more of an accumulation kind of thing. Definitely never had that kind of one-punch knockout power. That's just not Estrada. More of the same with Roman Gonzalez. They beat you on accumulation. He measures up similar to Quadras, which is one thing Chocolatito didn't, you know, and he was still able to pressure Quadras. I mean, it's just a matter, can Quadras go 12 rounds of boxing and moving? And with guys like Estrada and Chocolatito, I mean, Estrada's been against boxers before that used movement, and they didn't fare too well for them, and he was able to get to them as well. So, I mean, I don't see this being any different, even though Quadras is definitely a higher level fighter. But, I mean, I just think the body work is going to be the difference in this fight over 12 rounds. Quadras was gassed in the Chocolatito fight, which is why he possibly wasn't able to put him away, because he definitely was within range of doing that. So I'm going with Estrada, man. I guess we could touch on other fights on the undercard. And there's actually one I didn't even know was happening this weekend that I'm going to get into after. But, yeah, let's go into another fight that's going to be on that card, which is, I believe, Nui. He's making his U.S. debut, and he's going to be defending his WBO title against Antonio Nieves. Of course, I'm going to let 2K start the breakdown process first on this one and what to expect in his U.S. debut from Monster Nui.
This is a pretty good fight. A lot of people are writing it off, and maybe they should. You know, Antonio Nieves has not really done anything to say that he's a better fighter than, he may put up a better fight than, let's say, an Omar Narvaez or, Kohei Kano or Adrian Hernandez, etc. But he only has one loss, and his one loss was a split decision to a Russian fighter, I believe. I can't remember the guy's name, but I know it was a split decision loss, and it was his last fight. So he's had a pretty decent career. He hasn't really fought top level opposition, but he's still a decent fighter. He does some decent things in the ring. He's a pretty good boxer. I think the lack of head movement for Naoya Inoue could be a problem. Antonio Nieves, he does use the jab. He does set things up with his jab. But at the same time, we're talking about my number 5 pound-for-pound guy in the world. I believe Inoue will eventually overcome an early struggle. And I say it's an early struggle just because it takes him a little time to get acclimated to his opponent, especially being at 115. I mean, I know he knocked Omar Narvaez out in the second round, but at 115 for the last couple of fights, Inoue has been, I don't know, man. I don't want to say he hasn't been the same, but he hasn't been blowing niggas out, you know what I'm saying, within the first 3 rounds like he used to do. You know what I'm saying? I think he knocked out Adrian Hernandez in the 5th round, if I'm not mistaken. But you got 2 very high-level fighters in Narvaez and Adrian Hernandez that he knocked out in under 6 or 7 rounds. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't really do that with Kono. He definitely didn't do it with Jerupian Lurd. He actually had a little bit of trouble with Jerupian Lurd, with Jerupian Lurd actually being highly aggressive and highly illegal. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do it with the same guy we just talked about. Carlos Cuadras, his last fight was, and David Carmona. That fight actually went to a decision. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. I see him. I see Antonio Nieves coming out with something to prove early on, maybe the first 3 rounds, and then Naoya will take over, probably knock him out round 6 or 7. But I think it will be a decent fight in the beginning to the point where we're like, damn, this Nieves guy is actually doing some good work. But, of course, Naoya will overcome and eventually his superior boxing ability, power in each hand, his IQ. Naoya Inoue's IQ is another guy. I'm trying to tell y'all right now, it's getting ready to be off the charts. I don't put him in the same list as Andre Ward or Rigo or Terrence Crawford right now, but if he keeps winning fights the way he's winning them, he's getting ready to become one of those guys on that short list of fighters who have an upper echelon type of IQ. Those things coupled together, he'll eventually overcome, end up knocking him out in about round 6 or 7. But it'll be a decent fight up to that point.
All right. I'll go ahead and pass it to Big Cool. Next prediction on this one.
Inoue, man, stoppage, 7th round, and I think he kind of prolongs it. Gets himself accustomed, to the U.S. crowd, and I think that he stops it with a brutal punch. I mean, he's just terrific young fighter, man. Still some things he need to work on, but like I said, he should win this fight going away. And I expect him to stop him around the 7th or 8th round.
Definitely a good point you put out there, Big Cool. I definitely could see now you're doing that as well, trying to put on some kind of a show and prolonging it a little bit. Let me go ahead and get Bo's take on outcome prediction, how he sees it going.
Man, Naoya Inoue, and here's the thing, man. Naoya Inoue is trying to position himself now that Yamanaka has taken that L. I know Naoya Inoue was trying to position himself with the fight with Roman Gonzalez, and if Roman win, 2K and them said something. And shout out to Usyk, and shout out to 2K and us over here, because we do talk about the lower weight divisions. A lot of people don't. But 2K said something, I want to say, 2015 or 2015 or 2016. I remember him saying that if Roman Gonzalez is going to fight now, he better do it now, because if you let that boy get too many fights up underneath him, he's going to be hard to deal with. Well, you fucked up, 2K.
Absolutely.
Well, he fucked up, 2K. So, yeah, man. Now we know is if you look at his last fight, he's showing you that not only is he learning, he's learning and applying. Like some cats learn, but he's learning and applying, and then adding shit onto what and that too. So, it's going to be it's going to be very interesting to see what transpires and what goes on. So, I'm liking this fight. I'm liking it just from a standpoint of it's a showcase fight to introduce him to the United States, and so it's going to be a treat. Everybody who's going to be watching is going to be in for a treat. So y'all just pay attention because you're going to see something. And I'm telling y'all, what we see, I guarantee you, I don't care who wins between Quadras and Estrada. I don't care who wins between Gonzalez and Rungvisai. If the now we know he is who he is and he do what I think he's going to do, which is blast this motherfucker, the winners of them two fights, they're going to try to keep his name out their mouth.
All right. I'll go ahead and finalize the unanimous decision. The unanimous decision here amongst us. Yeah, definitely see this ending with the left hook crook as usual, per now Yordenis Ugas. I'm not sure which round. I'm gonna say round 8, just to say I think he wants to put on a show this first outing in the U.S. You know, be a little flashy. He definitely has that in his arsenal. I actually want to ask this to 2K. Sometimes you think that Ugas just working on shit in the ring. That's what I get the feeling that he's just working on shit sometimes, as opposed to going for the knockout when he knows he can.
That's a good point. That's a good point. One of the things that Naoya Inoue used to do was when he would turn his opponent, he would never follow up with any combinations. This is early in his career. He had to he had to reset himself, so to speak, and find exactly where his opponent was going to be before he started to fire. You know what I'm saying? That's how he used to fight. Of course, it did well for him. He's knocking everybody the fuck out at that time. Still is. I mean, what is he, 13-0 with 11 knockouts? But now you don't see that often. Now he's turning motherfuckers, and he's throwing combinations. His footwork has got a little bit better. He used to be more stagnant, like the traditional Japanese fighter. He just stands there in front of you, and he's ringing combinations, or he's popping a jab, but he's not really moving. And Inoue, since being his debut fight as a professional, not his debut fight because I didn't watch him since then, but early on in his career anyway, he started moving more. He hasn't been the traditional Japanese stagnant, standing still, throwing punches from a distance type of fighter. Also, he's one of my biggest criticisms of him early on was that he didn't have an inside game, where he still isn't a great inside fighter. He's developed a better inside game. He showed that against Kono. He had a nice little inside game against Kono. So, yeah, I agree with you. He is working on things in there, and I think it starts to unfold every fight that we see him in.
All right. So I guess we'll conclude it with the main event of the evening for that card, which is Chocolatito taking on Sor Rungvisai in the rematch for the WBC title that he controversially lost in the first one. Do any of you see a different outcome? I'm going to go ahead and let 2K start off again, do his breakdown. What kind of outcome you got this time around?
I think Roman Gonzalez will win it, and it will be a situation where it'll be just like the last fight. But I feel the judges will be prompted to give the fight to the more popular fighter. I know that's controversial, but that's how I feel. Because Roman Gonzalez has said that pretty much he's not going to change who he is. You know what I'm saying? Months before this rematch was even signed, sealed, and delivered, Gonzalez stated that he feels he needs to knock Rungvisai out. He's going to go in there and knock him out. Well, that's how Roman Gonzalez fights all the time. You know what I'm saying? He fights to get the knockout. He's high volume, high pressure. He tries to pin you up against the ropes. When he gets you up against the ropes, that's when he tries to deal the most damage, possibly wear you down and get the knockout later on in the fight if it didn't come early. You see what I'm saying? He's always been that kind of fighter. So with him saying, telling the media, well, in this rematch, I'm going to go for the knockout, basically what he's telling me and to other boxing enthusiasts who understand his style is basically, translation anyway, basically, I'm about to go in there and do the same shit I did in the first fight. Well, if that's the case, then it's going to be the same kind of fight. You're going to have a Rungvisai bullying him. Rungvisai was walking through his fucking punches, man. I mean, it was evident to me in the Cuadras fight that Roman Gonzalez is too small for 115. This is a guy that came up from 108, right? He's too small for 115. Carlos Cuadras was landing some punches on him. He didn't land nearly as much as Roman Gonzalez, according to CompuBox, which is highly skewed. There's a possibility he really did, but just judging off of that, he didn't land anywhere near Roman Gonzalez landed on him, but his face was extremely fucked up, and that's a testament to the fact that he's too small, and Carlos Cuadras is much bigger, much more powerful, much more acclimated to the division, right? In the Rungvisai fight, you've got Roman Gonzalez doing the same shit that he did against Brian Valoria and everybody else that he's fought. McWilliams Arroyo, right? Doing the same shit that he did against every other fighter in his career, every other win. But Rungvisai was literally like, nigga, dawg, this feels like my son hitting me in the chest, nigga. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. And was like literally bullying him from one end of the ring to the next. Am I lying?
True, very true.
You know what I'm saying? He was literally like pushing him from one end of the ring to the next. You know what I'm saying? If he feels that he's going to go in there and do the same shit, well, then the same thing's going to happen to him. Because guess what? Rungvisai is not going to change who he is. Rungvisai is a basic fighter. Rungvisai is a basic high-pressure fighter. No head movement, no good footwork, no upper body movement, right? He doesn't have great defense. Okay? He's not going to give you no fucking angles. He ain't going to Vasil Lomachenko you with the footwork. You know what I'm saying? He's going to stand directly in front of you like Rustam Provodnikov or Denis Shapakov. He's going to stay right in front of you. Okay? And he's going to push you back if he feels he's the bigger fighter. So that's exactly what the fuck's going to happen in the rematch. But I feel the fight will be extremely close like it was the first time. But the judges will say, oh, they fucked up the first time. We're going to get it right this time. Now, in my opinion, Roman Gonzalez lost the first fight. I had Rungvisai winning. I thought he did enough to win the fight. I thought the judges had it correct. But there was so much of a fucking uproar, right? And I think at that time, Golden Boy might have been co-promoting Roman Gonzalez for that fight. I can't remember. But there was a big uproar. Right now, Golden Boy is not co-promoting him for this fight. It's all Tekin. Tekin and K2. For this fight.
Yeah, I think I've always been co-promoting the show.
Tekin is his primary promoter, and then K2 is co-promoting him. So there may not be much judge influence by K2, but I just feel that just based on the first fight, the judges will feel that they need to give the win to the more popular fighter, and that's how Roman will win it. I think he'll win it by majority or split decision, maybe even unanimous decision. We might even get some scorecards where we're like, man, that's some bullshit. You know, Rungvisai won more rounds than that. We might get some shit like that in this rematch, but it'll definitely go to Roman Gonzalez.
All right, be cool. Prediction.
2K took the words right out of my mouth, man. All Roman got to do is show up, look somewhat competitive, and he already got the victory. You know what I'm saying? We done seen it before. When an overwhelming favorite or the popular guy loses a controversial decision, you know, just show up, look decent. He probably win goddamn 10-2. Yeah, so, I mean, he probably going to look, you know, more of a shell of himself in this rematch. But, I mean, people love, you know, Roman. And, you know, he got the victory. He going to get the victory unanimous decision. I say, 9 rounds to 3, not because he earned those 9 rounds, just because he's a popular fighter and they looking to, correct what they, a lot of people perceive as a wrong they did in the first fight. So I think he'll win a unanimous decision. Against a guy he shouldn't even been close with, in the first fight.
All right, Bo, what's your thoughts on this fight, and who's going to take it? It was highly controversial decision on the first one. Who you got taking the rematch?
Roman Gonzalez should take the rematch. I actually, the thing is, Roman Gonzalez, man, and motherfuckers don't like hearing truth, and that's the fucked up thing about it. But it is what it is. See, Roman Gonzalez, in my opinion, should have never been a number one pound-for-pound fighter, because the number one pound-for-pound fighter will show me different levels. He will show me how when this isn't working, he can go to this level. When that level is not working, he can go to that level. Okay? Roman Gonzalez was only thrown number one pound-for-pound because they didn't want to put another motherfucking black person up there, because Floyd had dominated that motherfucker for so long. And people can get mad at me, but that's the fucking truth. That's how I
telling the truth, man.
Right. I mean, that's how I feel. So you can get mad at me if you want, but that's how I feel. It's to take nothing away from Roman Gonzalez because he did win titles in 4 separate weight divisions. I'm just saying, no, he never showed me a different gear. He never showed me a different level. And if you're going to be number one, that's what I need to see. So I wasn't surprised of how difficult it was for him fighting a guy who was bigger, fighting a guy who wouldn't wilt under the pressure, fighting a guy who could take it, right? And I wasn't surprised. Now, if he tries to do that again, and I'm like 2K said, if you try to fight like that again, then we could be seeing the same results. Because if you fight the same way, and this other guy may go to camp and improve on something, I mean, who knows? Or he see you fight the same way, he say, well, fuck it, motherfucker, I'll fight the same goddamn way. We could be looking at the same outcome or the same type of decision, because now it's a matter of this guy is now the champion. So you're no longer a guy defending your belt. You got to be the guy proving that you can take the belt. So it's going to be interesting to see. Gonzalez should win. He really should. He definitely should win. But like we just talked about, if he wins and he fights a Noye, or if we see, like, even with Estrada, because I'm even seeing different, like Estrada's even showing me different things in what he's doing and the way he fights. So it's going to get hard for Roman Gonzalez, which is the reason why I said, man, him going up to this way he went up to, this might have been too much for him. And which is why I'm on board with him when he told Oscar and HBO, man, y'all motherfuckers got to pay me, because this is some bullshit y'all got me doing, man. And I agree with him, man. So he should win this rematch. I actually hope he does win this rematch, because let's just be honest, man. If Rungvisai wins, man, I don't give a fuck who he fights after that. He ain't beating Estrada. He ain't beating Quadras. He ain't beating Noye. He ain't beating none of them motherfuckers, man. So Roman Gonzalez should win.
All right. I guess I'll throw my take on it. You just never know. With Roman, the wars, one is going to catch up, especially 2K alluded to this in his breakdown, as far as Sor Rungvisai being able to bully him. I mean, how much can he take of it, you know? I definitely think both are going to come with a little bit more. I think Sor Rungvisai definitely feels like he has a lot more to prove, and he'll probably have a lot, may have trained to have more output and be better conditioned for this fight. You know, that was one of the things that took him, allowed Chocolatito to come on in the second half of their fight, the first fight. But I guess something tells me that Roman will get this one. He might start off where he left off. He was starting to pick up the steam as far as the second half of the fight, and looked good second half, a whole lot better than the first half at least. Looked to be handling the size of Sor Rungvisai. Of course, with the fatigue, you know, he handled it a little bit better. So I definitely will go with Chocolatito in this one, but, I mean, I don't see too much more for him past this, you know, even facing the winner of Quadras and Estrada, you know, which their fight is an WBC eliminator to face him next. Estrada's gotten a whole lot better than when they fought the first time, and Chocolatito's essentially the same guy. he was when they fought, and without the same tutelage, as the first fight. So, I mean, I just don't see a lot boding well to him in the future past this fight, even if he is able to recapture his title. I think now he actually already said he's not even really thinking about the Chocolatito fight anymore, that like he's been thinking about moving to 118 as opposed to still getting a big fight against Chocolatito, especially after the loss to Sor Rungvisai. So, I mean, the luster behind Chocolatito is pretty much gone, So that is what it is. But we have another fight that I didn't even know was happening this week. It's actually the first bout of the World Boxing Super Series, the Cruiserweight Series. Marco Huck against Oleksandr Usyk this weekend. Let me get you guys' thoughts on this one. I mean, both camps have been saying they think it's going to be a competitive fight, surprisingly. I don't know if they necessarily had to sell the fight because there's no damn TV contract to see the shit anyway. So I don't know why it was necessarily put out there by either camp like that. So I'll go ahead and start off with 2K. Maybe you could touch on why both of these camps are thinking this a more competitive bout than I actually think it is at the moment. Go ahead.
Well,
2K.
There's no TV contract in the United States. This is a big fight in Germany. You know what I'm saying? Germany has a big market. They have their own boxing circuit. They have their own celebrities. And Marco Huck is a celebrity in Germany. So they're selling it for those particular viewers who are going to buy tickets to this event and who are going to watch it on premium German television. With that said, they're going to see Oleksandr Usyk thoroughly beat the shit out of their German hero. It's going to be an ass-whooping slaughter. Now, mind you, I was big on Oleksandr Usyk until I seen a guy who was on a motherfucking damn near 365-day layoff and Michael Hunter give him all kinds of trouble in his last fight. You know what I'm saying? If Michael Hunter was not on a year layoff, we probably would be talking about Hunter versus Usyk. Hunter versus Huck for the WBO World Cruiserweight title right now. If he was a more active fighter, okay? In that fight, I seen what Usyk is able to do without James Ali Bashir, okay? And that's absolutely nothing. Nothing that Mr. Bashir was able to instill into this fighter. This is a prime example of why I always say these American trainers need to stop taking in these fucking European fighters and train your home fighters. Make them the ones that nobody can beat, because these motherfuckers are only hiring you so they can be contenders against us. You understand that? And with Oleksandr Usyk leaving, that showed how much of an influence Uncle Bashir was for Oleksandr Usyk. So, but still, with that said, Marco Huck is about 2 years removed from the Marco Huck that was dominating, Ola Afolabi, you know what I'm saying? What's his name? Hugo Hernan Garay, who was the former WBA Cruiserweight champion. I'm sorry, WBO.
Pretty much dominated everybody in Cruiserweight.
Yeah, I mean, he just guys, Victor Emilio Ramirez, you know what I'm saying? Guys that were actually, highly touted contenders or ex-champions or current champions. You know what I'm saying? He's about 2 years removed from that Marco Huck. He lost to Golovaki. He lost to Bradis. Bradis thoroughly outboxed him. Usyk can do just about anything Bradis can do. So I see Usyk winning a unanimous decision, if not stopping Marco Huck. How many times has Marco Huck been stopped? Like once? Once or twice?
I think Steve Cunningham stopped early in his career.
Yeah.
I
think Steve dropped him. Yeah, definitely. I think.
Steve dropped him. He killed him. Yep. You're right.
About 2 times, I think.
It was Steve Cunningham and Glavaki. They knocked him out. So I think Usyk's going to be the third one possibly. If not, it'll easily be a unanimous decision win for him. This is not going to be a close fight, but it's just a sell for the German spectators. That's all.
All right. I'll go ahead and pass it on to Bo on this one. He has a pretty close relationship with Usyk's as trainer. I don't know if he's been able to talk to him about this fight at all or.
Oh, he back with him?
That. No. But
you see a trainer. I was like, oh, shit.
No. But go ahead, Bo. Let me get your thoughts on what we see of Usyk now, facing Usyk, who's definitely past his prime, and yeah, go ahead, Bo.
2K made a very good point. What was the guy's name? He just last fought was it Parker?
Michael Hunter.
Hunter. Okay, Hunter. And
it
wasn't the Usyk. It was an Usyk that was trying to be way too aggressive. Like, I take you back to the Manchuka fight, and James Ali Bashir was telling him, "No, you don't over aggressive. Wait, calm down and box. I'll let you know when to jump on the guy." And when it was time to jump on him, he told me to jump on him, and he got him out of there. Well, Usyk was trying. I think he was trying to make a statement, being with the new trainer, so he was being very aggressive, and that's not his fight. Like we just talked about that. We talked about how you get with a guy and they try to make you into a guy that you're not, and that's not his fight. So Hunter was having a lot of success, and I pointed this out. The fact that Hunter was dead on his feet from exhaustion, and you still could not get that motherfucker out of there.
Yeah.
Okay? This nigga was dead on his feet from exhaustion, and you still couldn't finish him off. That speaks volumes. That definitely, to me, speaks volumes. So, but Marco Huck is the kind of guy that Usyk can shine against and look good against. But going later on past Marco Huck, when you start getting into fighting guys like, because, you got Dorticos, he's in a tough fight with a big puncher. You got Bradis. So going into with them guys, you're going to have to be the Usyk who you remember you fight. Then you're going to have to be the Usyk that the reason why we got you the favorite. But
that's
he should definitely.
Good point, bro. Well, I'll touch on that one after you finish. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, yeah, but he should definitely beat Marco Huck. And it's a shame because Usyk is traveling to these cats' countries and they TV shows, putting him on, watching him get their ass beat on. But thus is boxing, man.
Bo just brought up an interesting point with this change in trainer. I definitely thought Usyk. I guess when we first heard about this, as far as the tournament, we tabbed Usyk as the favorite. But I just want to see what you guys think as far as his recent camp and change in camp. Do you guys still see him as the favorite in this tournament, hands down, or does it make it a little bit does it add any more intrigue to it? I'll ask 2K first. Go ahead.
Say that one more time.
Does it add any more intrigue as far as does it take anyway your thoughts of Usyk being the favorite in this tournament? Being that he's had a change in camps and then looked so impressive against Michael Hunter.
Usyk probably wouldn't have been my favorite any fucking way. It wouldn't have mattered. I like him, but there's other guys that would give him a problem regardless if he was with Bashir or if he's with Anatoly Lomachenko. So, I mean, it's no. That's the answer. The answer to your question is no. I think Maris Bradis will always give him a problem no matter what. I think Junior Dorticos, a.k.a. Cool Ranch Doritos, will always give him a problem. Whether he's Bashir or Lomachenko. I think he had a better shot with Bashir. I think that it would be like a harder choice for me to make if he was with Bashir. But being with Lomachenko, yeah, a little bit easier, but I still probably wouldn't have made him my favorite.
Okay. Any of you guys agree with that sentiment as far as him being with Anatoly right now, making this tournament a little bit more intriguing and kind of removing the favoritism away from Usyk as being the favorite in this tournament? which he was
I agree.
initially.
I agree.
I mean, I think he's beatable anyway, whether he was with, his old trainer or the new one. I just think he a knockout waiting to happen. And pity pat shit gonna come to a stop when he face the guy that's on his level. You know what I'm saying? He's good, but he ain't all that, man.
I know me and 2K always had already said that Breedis is probably the best fight as far as matchup wise against Usyk in this tournament. I think at least. Dortico is probably a close second, but I definitely think Breedis has everything, all the tools to beat Usyk, especially without Ali Bashir in his corner right now, helping him with adjustments during the fight.
Usyk not gonna win this tournament, man. He not. He gonna get knocked out. Not this round, but next round. One of these rounds, he gonna get knocked out. I'm not that high on him like everybody else is. He good, but he ain't all that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree with 2K. With him not having James Ali Bashir, and then if you listen to what they tell him in the corner, it definitely takes away him being the favorite to win, man.
Okay. All right. So I guess we'll go into our segment of the week, but definitely a big week of boxing, man. Bernard actually may have found Peter Quillen this week. He's.
Oh yeah.
I think Bernard found his ass.
Hey,
his debut
you know what, Twan? I gotta say something, bro. Bo's homeboy, Jay Calderon, aka aka Casual Ron, found Peter Quillen before Bernard did. So I'm actually getting mad at Bernard. This motherfucker ain't been doing his job. This nigga got a job and shit. He got a new job. Motherfucker ain't been on Facebook. I ain't been on Facebook, but that's besides the point. We're talking about Bernard right now. Motherfucker got a new job. Nigga ain't been doing his motherfucking old job finding fighters. He let Jay Casual Ron find a fighter before him. Fuck Bernard.
Damn.
Well,
you got Bernard. Look, you got Bernard over there scared now, man. That motherfucker probably dropped this damn peanut butter and jelly sandwich and everything.
Well, now, hold on now. In Bernard's defense, man, he was actually looking for two fighters, and he did help find Boo Boo Andrade.
Oh, okay. We already knew that motherfucker was that. He was over there. He's
in Wicked Right School of Business, man.
I guess we could touch on that, too, before we go into U.O.E.N.O. Andrade has a date announced with HBO with an opponent, TBD. Short notice.
That nigga's pretty good.
Hey, man, I'm about to say, man, y'all talking shit, man, but that nigga TBD, that nigga always fighting. He's the busiest motherfucker in boxing, man.
What's his record, bro?
Shit, hey, I don't know. That nigga undefeated.
No.
He might have a better record than He might have a better record than the Movement, and we undefeated. I mean, TBD come to fight.
Yeah, bro.
Man,
all right,
let me get you guys.
TBD is the most duck nigga in boxing. Every time I see a motherfucker got him on his schedule, they fight somebody else. What kind of shit is that? Every time.
Hey, he about to get ducked by Andrade and Quillen too, so shit, there's a wrap for them. Them two big fights for him.
I wanted to. Oh yeah, that's who Quillen fighting this weekend too. I forgot all about that. That motherfucker everywhere.
Oh shit!
You can't stop him.
Oh shit!
Man, but yeah, this just shows you, man. This is something. I guess I had actually posted it earlier in the week in between all the different groups. We pretty much fuck with our group, the Movement and Eastwood hardcore. And it's one of those things, I pointed to Showtime was ready to put a whole lot of money into Andrade, into having kind of like a 154 unification thing going on. Of course, Andrade finally got his belt back, WBO, against Jack Cool K earlier in the year. But, he didn't have necessarily the performance he was supposed to put on, and he's now fighting on HBO, and it kind of takes him out of, it seems like it may take him out of some of those bigger name fights at 154. The network shit comes into play again, considering, all the other 154 titleists are pretty much fight on with Showtime or with a PBC banner. So let me get you guys' thoughts on this latest business debacle. I won't say it's a debacle because at least he's fighting and on the network. So, what do you guys think of this latest move from Andre, whose career has pretty much been derailed basically because of all business shit, not necessarily anything in the ring? I'll start off with Big Cool.
I mean, it's good if he's going to fight after this. I mean, because the nigga will fight once, and then we won't see him back in the ring till 2021. He's going to be still calling out Lord and shit. I mean, shit. If the motherfucker going to fight, back-to-back is good. I mean, like I said, he's not really, signed to anybody. He's going to be bouncing between HBO, Showtime. And like I said, HBO, like Chris was saying yesterday, I think at Eastwood or the Movement, one of the posts in one of the groups, HBO lost Top Rank. So, shit, if I'm Android, I'm like happy as fuck, you know what I'm saying? Because he can really, be impressive October 21st, you know what I'm saying, and get a lot of money thrown his way. You know what I'm saying? And had these guys, you got Canelo over there, you got Triple G, you got Lemieux, you got Cotto, you know what I'm saying? You got Billy Joe Saunders, I think.
Hey.
So it's a lot of fights potentially over there for him. He just got to get his head out his ass and let his people that he hired do the job for him and just worry about being a fighter, because obviously that nigga don't know how to manage his own career. I don't know how his daddy is, but that nigga don't seem like he know how to manage his career either. So, I mean, he need to get some good people that got his best interests in mind and, get him a good deal, and he just need to fight, man, because he's 29 and he going to be wasting the prime years of his fucking career if he keep going on the path he's going on. But like I said, I think it's a good move if, his team got the proper, everything on paperwork and he signed, sealed, and delivered, and he can get the fights that he wants, because there's a lot of opportunities at 154 and 160 over there for him.
All right. I'm going to try and put a different spin on it, man. What kind of moves does Andre make from here? Because he's kind of putting himself on the outside looking in on 154 until the WBA mandates him and Lara fight each other, basically. So what does Andre need to do with his career from now on? Would you suggest he actually move up? I mean, considering, Big Cool made a good point as far as the Muse and, guys like Cotto being available on the HBO network. What do you think it would be the best move with him, considering, all the other guys from PBC or the other 154 champions are with the Al Heyman, and not necessarily exclusive to Showtime, but, like I said, the first dibs thing usually goes, to Steven Espinoza and Showtime when it comes to those things. Go ahead, TJ.
One question is, he's still with Banner Promotions?
Yes,
yep.
He is.
There's nothing he can do. Straight up, bro.
This nigga funny as fuck, cuz he said he's still with Banner Promotion. Yeah, there's nothing he can do. He can sign $100 million contract, still get started.
You know why?
That nigga led with the wind up and hit the pitch.
Word up. You know why I say that shit? Boo Boo is literally in some shit. You know what I'm saying? I say that because these networks can shit all over his promoter. He could do and say and talk as much as he fucking wants, but having a small-ass promotional company backing you will not get you the fights you think you want. They could just say, well, you don't bring enough money to the table. Look who's backing you, motherfucking Banner, nigga. Is that David Banner Promotions, nigga? No?
Or Eric Banner.
It don't matter if it what. All the banners out there are washed up. No, ain't no banner anything running shit in any industry. You know what I'm saying? So they're just going to look at this shit and be like, no, nigga, get the fuck out of here. We don't give a fuck if you're number one contender. This number 35 contender nigga down here that's promoted by Top Rank and Golden Boy, he got more clout. You see what I'm saying? So the fact that he's with this let me put it this way, a different perspective for the dumbass niggas listening that don't get it. This is why the smaller promotional companies need the bigger promotional companies to co-promote their fighters' next few fights. For example, Jeff Horn, right? He's with an Australian promoter. He's got Top Rank co-promotion, so they can help him get the bigger fights, right? Roman Gonzalez, he's with the Japanese Tekken Promotions. Before he had Golden Boy co-promoting him to help him get the bigger fights. Now he's got K2, who's not necessarily a huge promoter, but they're way bigger than Tekken outside of Japan, right? So that's why he's got K2 now co-promoting him to help him get bigger fights. You see what I'm saying? Especially when Golden Boy wouldn't get him bigger fights. They actually wouldn't get him bigger fights, and they wouldn't pay his ass on top of that. So he let K2 co-promote. This is what Andre should have done, or at least tried to do. Maybe he tried, maybe he didn't. All we know is he's not getting that. He's still with garbage-ass motherfucking David Banner Promotions. And I don't give a fuck if that's not the name of the promotional company. That's what I'm calling him. He's with David Banner Promotions.
But, bro,
they not
look,
just taking no fucking fights. Plain and
look,
simple.
though,
He ain't with nobody. Go ahead.
Look, though, 2K, hey, not to cut you off, but when I interviewed him like a year and a half ago, this motherfucker told me he re-signed with him after having all these issues. And I was thinking to myself, why the fuck would you re-sign with these motherfuckers if they the main reason you've been out of the ring so long? He's like, well, you know, I got some shit in my favor. You know, I'm like, what shit you got in your favor? He's like, well, you know, I got some, you know, I'm like 50-50. No, nigga, you're not 50-50. Nigga, you just another nigga that's about to be out the ring for like another 24 months.
I think, you know, Big Cool, I think Andre is focused too much on trying to stay away from these major promotional companies so he doesn't get fucked in the ass like a lot of them, the other big popular fighters did over the course of the history of boxing, that he's sticking with a small promoter. What he should have done is got a better manager that will help him make better deals so he doesn't get fucked in the ass. See, the promoters promote you.
Advisor.
Yeah, exactly. The promoters promote you. The managers get you the best fucking deals. That's what he should have done. Fuck David Banner Promotions, nigga. Shit. Get Al Heyman or Jay Prince and sign with motherfucking Lou DiBella or Top Rank or somebody. Somebody that can get you some fucking fights. Because David Banner Promotions ain't going to get you shit, dog. Straight up.
And I hate this shit for him, too, man. I hate this shit for him, too, but oh, well.
Let me spread some light on this. Yeah, bro. Let me spread some light on this because you guys are forgetting one very important thing here. What he tried to do, fellas, is the classic case of doing something when you don't know how to do it. He tried to play the business aspect of boxing and don't know shit about the business of boxing. Henceforth, why you re-signed with Banner Promotion because, oh, well, I have more control. Well, it wasn't good when you didn't have control, and since you don't know nothing about the business of boxing, what you having control helps you how? How does you having control helps you? Like, you got to have something to have control of. What belt do you have? Because when you did have a little bit of control, you listened to a promotion company that got you X'd out and your title dropped. See what I'm saying? So you're trying to play something that you don't know nothing about, which is the business side of boxing, which is the reason why you're hanging out in the crowd, motherfucker, and Charlo fights and shit. You know, and that's the fucking truth. So, I mean, I'm glad he has a fight. I'm glad he's on HBO. HBO, because they don't have Top Rank, they have some room to put a fighter on. Let's keep it real. They still, from a known aspect, is known for boxing still right now. They're still known for having boxing on it. That might change over the course of the years. And like HBO kind of reminds me of what Fox TV was once upon a time when Fox TV started and they was trying to become big. They was just like they was bringing TV shows on. Like that's why we had like In Living Color and New York Undercover and all that shit because they was trying some shit.
Yeah.
So HBO was trying whatever. Like, oh shit, we're winning Andrade. You know, get him back over here. You know, they just trying whatever to keep interest going. So we'll see how it works. But what's killing me is that you could win this fight and we don't see you again. That's the part that killed me. Like, you could win this fight, you don't see me again. You went with Banner Promotions to 2K point. Now you went with Banner Promotions because I have some creative control. So fighting Jack Colcay for $60,000, it was your idea of being career. Like, motherfucker, fighting, and which, hold on, and let me make everybody clear on something. It wouldn't be a bad thing if you fought for $60,000 and you was fighting, like if you fought 3 times and once for 60, the next for 80 and 100, okay, fine. But motherfucker, you fought one time, made $60,000. So basically, you fought and made the basic person's average yearly fucking salary. That's what you did. That's what the fuck you did.
All I gotta say is either Demetrius Andrade is a saving ass nigga or he hustling on the side, dog. This nigga ain't making no money. Straight up.
No shit.
That nigga is like, what's that?
The illest nigga in Rhode Island. The illest nigga in Rhode Island.
Bro, I'm telling you, Demetrius Andrade right now is low key Celestino Caballero. That nigga moving them keys. We just don't know about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you see how the nigga got the nose ring and shit, man, so you know him.
The illest nigga in Rhode Island, in Providence.
Yeah, man, simple. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I'm the WBO, but still I'm slanging that shit. I got the new nose ring and shit. So my first team. Get the fuck out of here, man.
And shout out to 2K, because I've been saying this shit every time motherfuckers ask me. I say, yo, man, this motherfucker's with a promotion company that all of us combine and not use all the money in our immediate access wallet and beat them niggas in the motherfucking purse bid. Okay?
That's the shit. That's like a temp agency, fucking boxing promotion company, man.
No shit, dog. No shit, dog. Real talk. No shit.
Hey,
I mean, I'm looking at.
Don't be surprised if fucking Banner Promotion turn into Williams Promotions, nigga, next year. Don't be surprised. I told y'all right now.
Look like a Banner attorney in law and shit. Be like, what the fuck y'all got going on, man?
I mean, think about this, dog. Listen, man. He has a promotion company that's so weak. Like you're the WBA regular champion. If this was top rank, they'd be like, yo, man, that motherfucking super champion, we want that nigga. They'd be like, all right, man, let's, WBA be like, all right, yo, let's make that happen. You the promotion company, like, yo, man, I'm the regular champion. Yeah, all right, motherfucker, close the door behind you. I mean, seriously. That's how, I'm not trying to shit on them, but they sitting back waiting on the WBA to do something to consolidate the belt. The WBA is pretty much like, yeah, okay, motherfucker, whatever.
They laughing. They like, this nigga ain't got no money, man, to put no really pressure on them.
Yo, it's so fucking bad that they don't even have to pay this nigga step aside money. They just said, nigga, shut the fuck up, sit your ass down.
Be grateful.
That's true. That's right. That's true. They don't even pay this nigga step aside money. They like, look at Lara not fighting, you fight Terrel Gausha.
I'm just here looking at possible opponents that could be, and I'm just like, who the hell is TBD finna be? Like, Charles Hatley, I don't think we're going to see him for another year because he's still recovering from that knockout.
That shit going to be...
Not Islam. I mean...
Whoever TBD going to be, he only going to make $10,000 less than goddamn Andrade.
I mean,
and then that nigga go get in there and start.
I'm going to play manager for Andre right now, man. If I'm you, I'm campaigning for a Miguel Cotto fight. I know it's a short turnaround, but shit, he got the 154 WBO belt. You know what I'm saying? You on HBO, he on HBO. Start the campaign, Twitter campaign.
But look, though, Twan, but this motherfucker Cotto said he's looking for the biggest name. Andre, that shit don't equal that shit, bro.
Nope.
No, it don't, man.
Nope.
Yeah, high risk, low reward.
Yeah, and it's his own fault, though, man. It's his own fault, yeah. Like you said, it's his own fault. You got out of the deal you wanted to get out of, and you didn't go with nobody. I mean, yeah, and like 2K said, you was a champion before Charlos, and look where they at, and look where you at. Jamal is a mandatory for a WBC belt at a whole new weight division.
Very
That's
true.
fucked up.
It is, man.
I have no idea why he had a chance to sign with Heyman and didn't. I mean, the Showtime deal is looming after the Willie Nelson fight. It's just ridiculous.
The Rhode Island niggas, man. He's the only nigga in
tried
Rhode
to
Island. That's
stay
why.
away
AKA
from, he
Snow
tried to stay
Island.
away from the big names. He tried
Snow
to stay
Island.
away from the big names so he wouldn't get fucked. I'm telling you. That shit it's got this written all over it. Somebody talked to him and said, yo, don't fuck with them big name promoters. Don't fuck with them big name managers. Keep that shit local. Keep that shit under the radar, and you'll have success. I'm telling you, nigga. I feel like he was pushed that way from like when he was an amateur, when he was a young kid. That's why he won't deviate.
Probably his pops too. Probably had a lot to do with his pops.
Hey, too bad for him. It ain't no underground boxers that's making money. This ain't underground rap where you still gonna get you some nice money. This nigga is no, bro. Ain't no underground boxers, nigga. You need to be known and need to be set yourself up with somebody powerful. This nigga is ignorant if he don't change his situation. The next time his contract end with
the biggest name I could see him fighting at 154 on HBO might be like Yordenis Ugas, and I mean.
He already whooped that ass. I mean,
I know. It'll be a rematch, you know. So, I mean.
Yeah, he's going to fight Willie Nelson again, bro. He probably going to fight both of them niggas at the same night.
Or Wilkie Camford or some shit like that. Like, it's going to be something fucked up, you know.
There you go.
He's going to fight Yuri Foreman, bro. He's going to fight Yuri Foreman.
I got one question. Y'all motherfuckers got Netflix? Y'all got Netflix?
Yeah.
All right. Well, don't lose your subscription. In about 6 months, that nigga's going to be a 30 for 30 movie.
Hey. I'm telling you, nigga, Andre's next 3 fights, Jan Zavek, Yuri Foreman, and Delvin Rodriguez, nigga, I'm telling you. Those are the next 3 fights, nigga. Ain't nobody else to fight. Nobody else to fight, dog. On Netflix.
And then, that nigga 30 for 30 gonna be when you,
What could have been?
Oh, man. The boo-boo story. Right. When your nickname is who you are. 30 for 30, Demetrius Andre, when your career ain't shit, like your nickname. Yeah, for real. Come on, man. We can get on this nigga all night, man. I like Andre. Let me stop, man. I like this nigga, but shit, you funny, man.
Let me go into this U.O.E.N.O segment, man. We're going to keep it short and simple. On this day, September 3rd, 1988, Meldrick Taylor KO James Buddy McGirt to win the IBF Super Lightweight title. Meldrick Taylor, definitely one of those weird stories in boxing, man. Definitely talented, probably some of the fastest set of hands we've ever seen in the sport. And one fight changed all of that. I mean, it literally starched him. The Julio Cesar Chavez fight, afterwards, starched his whole career, man. Definitely a tragic story, man, but big up on that win. One of the more talented amateurs.
Oh, what win?
It got him writing books off of that fight. He wrote a book off that fight, man.
Wow.
It was like his documentary. It's called 2 Seconds from Glory or something like that.
I'm gonna have to check that out, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yep.
Wow.
That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up and shit. He should have had that victory with.
All right. I guess the final blow is on me this week unless Big Cool wants to take it.
Man, you take it, bro, because I ain't got nothing I'm talking doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't got much to say other than, man, something we've been trying to, ever since we started our podcast and trying to appeal to people to watch, the masses of boxing, to get into watching these lower weight divisions. I just want to emphasize it again with this triple threat card this week, and it's actually 4 fights. Brian Valori will be on the card as well, fighting at 115. So, I mean, the Superfly for a reason. These guys come to fight, definitely support it. It's going to be a high action card, high pack, light intensity as far as output. If you like, I won't say necessarily rock 'em, sock 'em, because these guys are definitely skilled. But if you like high activity, high pace, man, watch these guys on Saturday night. I mean, just enjoy the whole weekend of boxing. We got the Usyk and Huck fight that we talked about already. I mean, this is a big part of the year in boxing. With this fight coming up next week, and then we got the big what's the real Super Bowl of boxing this year, Triple G versus Canelo the following week. So I mean, definitely let's just put all of our support behind these next couple weeks, man. The same way that we did with this bullshit baloney, malarkey that happened over the past, last weekend. So, I mean, I guess that's all I really got to say as far as that on the final blow. Other than that, man, I'm going to let everybody give out their media handles before we get out here, starting with Big Cool. Go ahead, man.
Hey, YouTube, Colossal Boxing Talk CBT, Twitter, Colossal CBT, Eastwick. Shout out to Wilson, looking like the alien from Man in Black. The movement, Colossal Boxing Talk, the Facebook page. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Tuesday, go ahead and, I know you don't really care to give out the shit, but go ahead, man.
Yeah. Prodigy of Boxing Talk, YouTube channel, you know what I'm saying? Catch me on there talking a whole lot of shit, pissing people off. Don't really give a fuck. I say what I want, say what I feel. I even do some of them videos drunk and shit, nigga. Y'all don't even realize it.
Drunk off eggs, man. Drunk off powdered eggs, man.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, on here, the podcast every Sunday, 5:30 Pacific, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Catch me in our group, The Movement, on Facebook. Catch me on a lot of various groups. Of course, Eastwick, my man Willie the Kid. Boxing updates, a lot of different groups on there, a lot of different groups on Google+. Catch me on these fella shows, Colossal Boxing Talk, Truth and Facts About Boxing. I'm all over the place, man. Just spitting that shit, talking shit, pissing people off is what I do.
I just want to ask you a question. Do you use soy or almond milk as a chaser?
I don't use either. I use soy milk is for bitches. Almond milk don't got enough protein. Almond milk don't got enough protein. You know what I'm saying? So I got to use straight up cow or goat, nigga. You feel me?
This nigga really giving us this nigga funny cuz. Damn, man, I love to see this nigga when they add an egg, bro. I know he just be defeated like a motherfucker too at the hard workout. He's like,
it almost happened with that little. It almost happened with the storm down there, man. I hear they was trying to get everything out to the store.
That shit ain't.
Hey, 2K would have bought that shit.
They didn't touch Dallas. The only thing that fucked with Dallas was that that supposed gas shortage. Nigga,
yeah, the gas. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Man, listen.
Best believe if 2K was in Houston, that motherfucker would have drove to Dallas and got some fucking eggs, bro.
He would have swam. He would have swam.
Y'all listen, man. Y'all motherfuckers is tripping. Y'all are tripping. 2K's wife is mixed, so they know how to raise chickens in the backyard and keep the eggs fresh for this motherfucker.
Hey, Mo, you fucking right, bro. The people on her Mexican side, they be doing that shit in Mexico. You're right.
Hey, they get 2K a dozen eggs and shit for his birthday. He be happy as fuck.
Brown. Make sure they're brown.
He's like, damn, baby, I need to tell your family I like brown eggs.
Nigga be like, yo, I need to double it large, motherfucker.
All right, go ahead, bro. Give out your social media handles, man.
You can find me on my PG-13 show, Truth and Facts About Boxing, except when I have 2K on. That motherfucker is strictly rated R. Then a motherfucker on that day when he on, that motherfucker is rated R than the motherfucker. You can also find me on Pound for Pound Boxing. Like we said, our channel on The Movement, Willie the Kid, Eastwick. That's where the roasting took place, and I will handle all you motherfuckers accordingly for the roast. You can also find us just wherever they talking boxing, passing out L's, handing out L's. It don't matter where you motherfuckers are talking that dumb shit. It's one of us from the movement over there handing you motherfuckers an L. So shout out to the rooms we live, Eastwick Boxing, Ring IQ, the movement, talking boxing and bullshit. Although Tavon sometimes be acting kind of J. Calderon-ish.
Fuck him.
We still be there. And you can also find me on Instagram at truth_factbox1. Fuck that Twitter shit, man. That Twitter shit, I'm on 2K now, man. Fuck that Twitter shit, man.
Word up.
All right. And I am Twine the Divine Livity, the Movement Boxing Podcast, man. Yeah, you can catch me in pretty much all the rooms. These jokers are in championship rounds. Pretty much Eastwick is the main one I fuck with now. With Willie the Kid,
Yeah.
shout out to him. I definitely don't like dealing with the casuals in the other groups right now. I mean, it takes too much out of me. I don't know how the hell Bo does it.
No, hold on.
Bo don't turn
wait a
down
minute.
no job, man. He the Kevin Hart of fucking boxing, bro. Kevin
Hey,
Hart
hold on,
always
wait a
doing a
minute,
job.
Be honest, motherfucker. You don't fuck with the casual because there's a weed shortage, nigga. That's why you don't fuck with the casual. You ain't got nothing to smoke after dealing with them niggas.
Yeah, it's definitely too much to deal with, man. But, yeah, you could catch us here on Sundays, man. I'm going on vacation soon, so one of these guys is going to hold it down while I'm gone. And we'll have Bernard back on next week. Shout out to him. Also, of Truth and Basketball Boxing. As far as the movement's handles, you can catch us on Instagram, the Movement BP. Yeah, and also on our Facebook page, the Movement Boxing group.
Well, Bernard got some explaining to do. He got some explaining to do. This nigga said he at work and his phone is gone.
Yeah,
how the fuck
He
are you
posted
talking
inspirational videos.
And shit, and this motherfucker in here chatting and shit too, ain't
Yeah,
it?
he said something, my phone is gone. Why the fuck are you talking, motherfucker? He got some explaining to do.
You know, it's Twine. You know, you know how that nigga talking.
Clouded. Man, let me get on up out of here. Y'all go get Man, we'll catch y'all next week.